Right, hello. We are ready. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another wonderful session. Today, you are going to be taken on such a journey we have some fantastic speakers and practitioners in the world of health and well-being. So welcome everybody to this phenomenal platform. This session, Queens, loving ourselves, mind, body, and soul. Powerful. We have some powerful women on the platform who are just going to share with you the wisdom, some gifts, things you can just drop into your everyday lives. It starts with you. It starts with you. It's about you loving yourself. And once you can love yourself, you can love others. So just a little bit of housekeeping. I say this every week. Have your pens and pads and notebooks ready because you are in for some, honestly, the information that's going to be shared on the platform this morning is just overwhelming. And I myself have my pen here, so I will be making loads and loads and loads of notes. So once again, welcome everybody. Good morning, good night, wherever you are. It's just wonderful to have you on the platform with us. And if you're a first-time visitor to the platform, you know, we embrace you, we love you, and thank you for joining us this morning. So I'll tell you a little bit about, and really this is for the new people that are new to the platform, new to coming into the world of the Queen's Kingdom. So I run a walking group. It's called the Queen's Walking Group in South East London. And we've done, I think, 17 parks so far, all over the borough. So we'll walk, we'll do line dancing, we'll do leg bumps and tums, we do some kind of physical activity. We used to have speakers coming in and all around the world of health and well-being. And then, of course, when the UK government, because we are in a pandemic, started with the lockdown measures and restrictions, we had to stop. So, you can imagine 35, 40 hyped, highly charged, 8 o'clock in the morning, women, and we're just on it. Yeah. But, we have to be compliant with the restrictions that are in place. So I had to learn how to Zoom pretty quick. So we've been Zooming since November 2020, and what a journey. Absolutely amazing. And we've done so many different topics. Oh gosh, where do I start? Excuse me. Oh gosh, what's one of my favorites? Oh, Queens, a message from the Kings. And that was, we had the men come and speak to us. This was on International Women's Day, that kind of like weekend. We've done Black Hair Rocks, and that was our first one. We've got another Queen's International Black Hair Rock session coming up in a few weeks, because every time we do the hair shows, it's just like boom. Yeah. And as women, we know if our hair ain't rocking, we ain't going nowhere, we ain't leaving our house. So again, and it's really, in a way, a lot of the stuff we do on the platform is driven by you guys, our beautiful queens and our powerful kings. Yeah, so we're going to be doing another International Queens Black Hair Rock. So that's going to be in a couple of weeks. We've touched on subjects that have been difficult to talk about. Yeah, we've done a session on domestic violence. I'm a survivor. Let's talk about domestic abuse, because we know that in the lockdown, there's all sorts of things going on behind closed doors. And just so people know that we're thinking about them. If you know anybody in any particular situations, there's organisations that they could tap into. We've done a session on mental health. We've done a session on Queens, stop eating the fridge. And I know since last March, a lot of you have been eating the fridge. Yeah. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. But it's really about now, how do we get people back on track? And as they say, our health is our wealth. Without good health, there's a lot of stuff that we can't do. So we've got, in a couple of weeks' time again, we're going to be starting the intermittent fasting challenge in May, 1st of May. So if anybody wants to join, please hook me up. My number's in the chat. So please get in touch. And, you know, each time we do it, we have a fantastic time. And I'm telling you, once you follow what the guidance is for the intermittent fasting challenge, it works. It really does work. So look out for information for that. And I mean, we'll be posting things into the chat as well about intermittent fasting. So, you know, please hook us up. And I think it's next week or the week after that, we're going to be doing a session on the intermittent fasting. We got some fantastic health talks coming up as part of the Queen series. So we're going to be doing a session on pain, session on diabetes, obesity, a whole wealth of things that predominantly affect our community. We're going to be doing Queen's melanin skincare. So that's going to be another wonderful session. And we're going to probably touch on relationships. Yeah, so I've been doing some stuff with some other people talking about, you know, our relationships, Black relationships. So we have some amazing Zooms planned for you, for the kings and queens that, you know, tap into us every week. So yeah, we're going to have some really interesting conversations. So to hear about future Queens walking group events, yeah, please go onto Eventbrite. Look for the Queen's Walking Group. Yeah, all on Eventbrite. And if you follow us, when the events are put on, you'll get that automatic notification via email that, you know, we've got something absolutely wicked coming up. Yeah. So also to ensure that you're aware that this Zoom event is being recorded and it's also being live streamed through Facebook, because we want to spread the message of what we're doing this morning to you guys on the platform, but outside as well. We want everyone to tap in and just, you know, be part of this fantastic journey. So have your pens and paper and notepads ready for some life-changing information, because, you know, I only bring you the best to the platform. Yeah, only the best can come into the kingdom, and we have it. We have it. So let's get ready to start today's session on Queens loving ourselves, mind, body, and soul. So let me give a quick shout out so you know the speakers and the practitioners are here in the house. Yes. So, Nelsa, are you there, darling? Just say a quick hi. If you can unmute yourself, say a quick hi. If the presenters and the speakers can unmute themselves, I'm going to call you out one.
Hello, good morning, everyone. I'm here. I'm Nelsa. Lovely to be on this platform. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Queen. And we have the powerful Latiika, aka Spiritual Tiik.
Good morning, sugar dumplings, beautiful souls. I'm so happy to be here in this grand rising. I'm looking forward to a powerful 2 hours collectively vibrating with all of you.
Thank you, my queen. We have the wonderful Maz Alexander.
Ooh, hi there. Hi, everybody. It's my first time. Be gentle, please.
Don't worry, we will take time with you.
Thank you.
Naomi Davidson. Oh, phenomenal. Naomi Davidson. Where are you, my darling?
I'm here, Joan. Grand Risings, everyone. Grand Risings, Queens. An honour and a privilege to be here as always. Thank you.
Oh, it's always lovely to have you on the platform. This queen, she does so much stuff. And you're running your own kingdom as well, aren't you? But we'll talk about that later on. Lorna Archer. Where are you, my darling? I know you've been on the platform a couple of times.
Hi, Joan. Hi, Queens. Hope you are all well. Thank you, Joan, for this opportunity. I'm really looking forward to today.
Oh, me too. It's probably going to be one of my favourites again. They're all my favourites, but this might top it.
Brilliant. Great to be here.
Natasha, our tapping lady. Where are you, my darling? As I call your name, I'm tapping. Where are you, beautiful?
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me back on. I'm so excited to be here. There's some phenomenal ladies on here that I've seen, I've been watching on social media, and I'm just blessed and grateful to be able to share what I'm doing and to take on and learn. And the last time I was here, I was just so welcomed, and so I jumped at the chance to come again. So looking so forward to these next 2 hours, everybody. It's going to be great.
This platform, you know, it's about elevating and lifting us up, yeah? And it's about us creating spaces, because we have all these fantastic, wonderful, amazing practitioners, speakers in the community. So, you know, let's bring them out and talk to us. And now is a good time. Like I always say, you know, we're in a lockdown, so we've got time to just stop and listen, learn, be educated. And that's what it's about, you know. So I'm just honored that you're all on the platform, and it's going to be, boy, it's going to be on fire. Can't wait. Lovely. And we've got the wonderfulness where we're going to have a poem. We've got a poet in the midst. Tash, where are you, my darling? Tash Trent? I know you're here because I'm sure I spoke to you earlier.
Morning.
Yes, our wonderful poet. Yes, it will kind of like see us off at the end of the day.
Yeah, morning everyone. Looking forward to sharing some poetry with you, and really looking forward to seeing everyone present. So Natasha from Fish, be seeing you later.
Thank you, my darling. So Queens, get ready, beautiful souls, for a session dedicated to positive attitudes and spiritual nourishment for the mind, body, and soul. Queens, this will be like no other session on enlightenment. Good vibrations for your mind, body, and soul. That's what we're going to bring to you this morning on the platform. It's going to be powerful. Queens, you're here to embrace the power of love, peace, harmony, to benefit your health, relationships, and even your work life. Queens, it's time to become spiritually focused on emotional health and well-being. And that's what this morning's session is all about. Queens, just remember you are loved and you are appreciated. And remember, like I say to my walkers, we got this. We got this, yeah? And it starts with you. So guest speakers, my first speaker on the platform is Nelsa, the wonderful, wonderful, she's such a beautiful soul. Such a again. So Nelsa is known as the Queen of Self-Love. Are you coming? Are you there, Nelsa? Have you been muted? Well, let me do your introduction. Nelsa helps female entrepreneurial fitness professionals and perfection and imposter syndrome, so they have a thriving business and become CEOs of their own fitness and well-being brand. She's founder of Embrace Me, creator of I Love Myself First retreats, and signature holistic well-being Afro Kids movement specialist. She's a certified neurolinguistic programmer, transformation guru, international speaker in English and Portuguese, author and poet of Soul of a Woman, A Journey to Self-Love. So where are you, my darling?
I'm here. Good morning. I've just been having a few technical issues. My laptop won't let me in, so there will not be any presentation, but I'm going to speak from the heart. Thank you so much for the introduction, Joan. I have been labeled as the Queen of Self-Love, as you can see by the earrings.
I love
myself first. I wear them everywhere I go, and I get compliments all the time. I'm just going to take you on a little journey, but before I do, I've got a little surprise for you, Joan. I'm actually going to read a poem just to get the queens ready to start. And it's a message. When I began to heal myself, and you get to know a bit more about my story, I discovered I had a love for poetry. I had a talent for poetry, and I was like, oh, I don't know where that came from. I do know where it came from. It came from God. Poetry comes from God. I get messages from spirit, and I just speak from the heart. And the poems that I write are about my story of what I went through. So this is my book, as I'll speak about it a bit later. Soul of a Woman, A Journey to Self-Love. So it's my own individual journey that I went through, from body dysmorphia disorder, hating myself, almost at the point of suicide, that I decided that no, I wanted to live my life. But like a lot of us women here, and even men, I never knew I didn't love myself. So I had to go through a journey that brought me many, many, many ups and downs. But I can say to date, everything I've gone through has enabled me to help other women to also love themselves. So I'm going to read a quote first that I love to read, and it's one of my quotes I put in the book. She had to break down before she could crawl, die to self and spread her wings, learn to be grateful for the smallest of things. So I had to begin to be grateful for everything that I had, no matter how little it was, in order for me to actually move on. And, you know, we've always heard about the power of gratitude. Gratitude can lead to your greatest altitude. And that's how my journey began. I began to be grateful for the smallest of things. So I'm just already giving you a little tip. When we are grateful for the smallest of things, we can achieve so much more, and we are ready to receive more amazing things. So the poem I'm going to read is called, one second. Love, page 157. Love is more than a word, overused, underrated, often confused, painful at times and so abused. A four-letter word that has more power than any nuclear weapon, so destructive, complicated, unexpected, yet liberating. It's a natural born right. It creeps up on you without care or fears, many times bringing joy, through its challenge, many tears. We fight to get it, we fight to keep it, we fight to end it, we live by it, with it, even against it, often run from it, deny it, yet we pray for it. So why is it simple yet hard to love ourselves, to nurture ourselves, to care for ourselves, knowing how to love others without conditions, yet placing conditions on ourselves? We crave for love, work towards trust, give with no expectations, jumping through many relations. How can we give others what we do not have for ourselves? What others see is our reflection of what they lack. It's time to get our own loving back. So queens, and even gentlemen who are here, it's time for you to get your loving back. So I'm going to take you on a journey. One second. I'm just going to speak. My king just had to set up a few things for me. So I'm going to take you on a journey of what I did to get the presentation, because I'm just going to speak from the heart of what I did to get myself from where I was and what was my breaking point. And I hope you take notes, because I'm going to give you 3 things that you can take away straight away that you can apply as of today. Taking you back to October 2017, I was discharged by my psychiatrist, who said, there is nothing wrong with you. I've seen your notes. I've been suffering for about 5 years. I've seen your notes, and you just need to live life. You need to walk in nature. You need to have a glass of wine, no more than one, because if you have more than one, you might actually take you back into depression. And you need to start doing what you love. At this particular moment, I was like, I don't know what I love. Previous to ending up with social anxiety and body dysmorphic disorder, I was a personal trainer. So I was focused on my body and I loved going to the gym. So that was my love. When I lost myself, I no longer knew what I loved. And you get to know why I'm explaining this to you, because one of the things that we do once we love ourselves is we unleash our passions, the things that we truly love to do. As I said, I had no idea I had poetry inside of me. So once he discharged me, the first thing I thought was, oh my God, this psychiatrist is going to send me to a mental home. How can he give me something so simple that I've been struggling for 5 years? I've searched on the internet high and low. I've gone through specialists. I've gone through endocrinologists, doctors, you name it. Every single therapy I tried, it just was not working, because I knew inside of me, I had a seed of faith. And I had this voice in my head that kept on saying, you can overcome this. You will do it. Just have faith. And I continued to have faith. But my faith diminished itself when I tried to go to different churches, and I just wasn't having that connection with God. But I got down on my knees one day after somebody said to me, just be grateful. And I started to be grateful. I didn't sleep for 5 years. So I started to be grateful for the 1 hour sleep, for the fact that I could rest my head, for the fact that I had a home, for the fact that I had water running, and that I had a beautiful daughter who was still by my side and loads of family. So that was my first thing. But one day, as I kept on praying, I said to myself, okay, I'm praying and I'm saying grateful things. So that started with gratitude. And I was like, I want to ask for more. What is it that I want that I'm not asking? So I got down on my knees and I said, God, I don't care what's going on with me. Bless me so I can bless others. Because I said to God, I want to bless other people, he began to bless me. I started my company, Free to Embrace Me. Even though I still wasn't sleeping that well, I knew I had a gift to share. And as I started to write my poetry, loads of friends were saying, oh, you should write a book, you should write a book. I'm like, no. I'm just going to share all my poems. Some people are like, you're sharing too much. I'm like, no, sharing is caring. Let me carry on sharing. Eventually, it became a book. I'm going to fast forward to where I am now. And then I'm going to give you 3 things that I did, because I know we don't have much time. I now am an international speaker. I'm an author. I'm a poet. I speak 2 languages, Portuguese and English. So I speak internationally in both languages. I also run my own retreats called I Love Myself First retreat. Now, because we're online, it's called Soulful Self-Care Sundays. I also help women to write their own books, as I'm starting a small group of accountability to help women who want to become authors. And I'm also a mentor, and I kind of collaborate with a lot of women. If I see someone who's not shining, I work with them, I make them shine, and I let them go. And I don't actually let them go, they become part of my circle. So that's what I do. There's 3 things that I did in order to get out of the depression that I was in. First of all, I used to extremely diet all the time because that was the only thing I had control over. I gave up dieting. Ladies, diets do not work. Healthy eating works, but healthy eating only works when your mindset and your mind is in the right frame. Do not try a diet if you're anxious, depressed, because it will lead you to becoming more anxious and depressed. Only when you're in a good mindset and you truly love yourself, you then think to yourself, okay, my body needs attention now. What can I give it? And you begin to give your body that attention. And eating healthy becomes so easy. So that's the first thing I did. I gave up perfection. The second thing I did, which a lot of you women are going to find extremely uncomfortable, is I started to have meetings with the mirror. So I'd get up, I'd have my shower, I'd take off all my clothes, and I'd face myself in a mirror from top to bottom. And I have a poem called Self-Love, where I began to give every single part of my body love. From top to bottom, I said, Nelza, I love your hair. Nelza, I love your skin. Nelza. And I started to say why I love them. So it wasn't just I love you for a reason. We always love something for a reason. There's something about it that we like. So I would say, I love your stomach. You carried your daughter for 9 months and you still look amazing. I started to have really deep conversations with myself. And the reason why I did that is because I was with my partner. He was my techie guy just here. And he faced me in the mirror one day and he said, you're beautiful, but I couldn't look at myself. When he left, I said, no, I don't want to just feel good when I'm around him. I want to feel good when I'm by myself. So then I began my meetings with the mirror. So that's the second thing that I did. The third thing that I did was to unleash my creativity. What did Nelza really like? I couldn't exercise because I was really tired. And I looked at my values. What were my values? And I'll tell you 3 of them now because that's what I live by. My values are peace, love, and power. So being an independent woman who came from a single mother, I knew how to be powerful. I knew how to do everything on my own. So that's what drove me into depression because I felt like I could do everything by myself. I don't need a man, I can do everything. But that was the wrong attitude. It's not that I needed, I wanted. What I needed was to truly care for myself. So I began to do things that brought me peace, meditation, walking in nature, listening to music that were inspirational like India Arie, Janaea Coco, I can't even say her name, but loads of singers that really inspired me, like gospel. If you put gospel music, the songs are so uplifting and they speak to your soul. So I began to put songs that spoke to my soul. And then I started to dance. I remember listening to Nina Simone. What was a beautiful song that I love? You Know How I Feel. I listened to that song. I moved and I looked at myself in the mirror. And then I created a program, which was called Afro Kids Movement, which was to help women to love themselves. So in there, I taught them about affirmations. I taught them about turning a negative feeling into a positive feeling just by seeing it and saying it. I taught them how to move their body, and we mix yoga, kizomba, Afrobeats, salsa, all the kind of musics together. People were like, how can you do yoga listening to India Ari? Why can't you? So I began to mix yoga with dance, with functional movement, which is what I knew as a personal trainer. And I taught that class. I helped 10 women who were severely depressed in my local borough to come out of depression through movement. But the movement wasn't just listening to a song and exercising like you do in the gym. It was actually saying affirmations. It was actually saying, close your eyes and dance. I had clients that would close their eyes and go, oh, I can't dance. Don't worry, no one is watching you. So I began to release things inside of me that I love to do, and I taught other people. So that's the three things, and I know we're running out of time. The last thing that I'm going to say is, and there's a quote I want to read. Let me just summarize what I said. The first thing I did, let go of perfectionism and begin to love myself and cheer myself on. Tell myself, you're doing really well. You look amazing. The second thing that I did was it release my creativity? I can't remember. It was releasing my creativity. I think was the last thing I said. And really, really embracing the powerful woman that I am, allowing myself to be. I stopped relaxing my hair. I grew my hair. I cut my hair. I started to do all the things that were inside of me that were just bursting to do. And I tell you what, even up until now, there's still so much out of me that just wants to burst. And for me, I do one exercise. This is what I wanted to teach you ladies, actually. One exercise is called a heart exercise. Place your hands on your heart and take 3 deep breaths. We won't do it now, because I know some of you want to go with me and do it. Close your eyes and you ask yourself this question. You say your name and you say, Nelza, what do I really want? And listen to that first voice. The voice is your subconscious saying, I want to play. I want to sleep. I want to go for a walk. It's all the things that we love to do when we were young. So when we start to release our passions, it's everything to do with what we used to do when we were young that made us, helped us to feel free, that we stopped doing because society says, you've got to do this, you've got to be a perfect mom, you've got to be a perfect partner, you've got to be a perfect woman. There's no such thing as perfectionism. You are imperfectly perfect as you. There's no one else like you. So I want to read this last quote. And for those who want to buy my book, it's available on Amazon. I'll also post my website on there. I'll run challenges. We just finished a challenge called I Am Worthy, which I teach women. I give them challenges every single day as to what they can do to overcome. I'm all over Instagram. I'm all over Facebook. You cannot miss me. So I wanted to say this last quote before we move forward. It's a quote by Maya Angelou. A woman in harmony with her spirit is like a river flowing. She goes where she will without pretense and arrives at her destination prepared to be herself and only herself. You are unique. You are beautiful in your skin. You are beautiful with what you do. You're amazing. You're powerful. There is so much power in you, but you've just got to allow yourself to take that love that you give to other people and give it to yourself. Look at yourself like a baby. What would you do to a baby? You wouldn't say to a baby, change that. You would teach a baby how to change. So for some of you that are thinking, it's so hard for me to love myself, tell yourself this. It's a really powerful affirmation. I am willing to embrace myself, even learn to love myself. And there you have it, queens. It's time for us to get our own loving back. My name is Naomi, and I'm sending love and light to you all. Thank you all for listening to me and embracing me.
Oh, that's, you know something, I sat here listening to you and I said to myself, thank God this is being recorded. Seriously, thank God we are recording this, because guests on the platform, kings and queens, you see the levels that we're on this morning. This is the level that we're, and it's gonna get deep. Absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much for that. And a lot of what you said this morning will resonate with each and every one of us. We're all on this journey. Some of us just need that little kickstart, which is what I felt you've done this morning. And it's like an awakening, isn't it? Waking people up to kind of like get into that mindset. And you know, I'm here making my notes, and you're so right. It's about being grateful. You know, as I open my eyes every day, you know, I just thank God. Look at the world that we're living in now. Yeah, we really have to be grateful. So
I'm just going to say one last quote that you reminded me of, actually.
Yes.
And it's a quote that if you ladies really get this quote, you will never suffer again. To embrace your flaws is a skill. To love yourself is the magic pill. I was depressed for 5 years. I did not take a pill. I did at one point, but it wasn't for me. But when I started to love myself, it only took 21 days for me to really begin to feel like, oh, I can do this. Even though none of the problems had stopped, even though I still wasn't sleeping. I only began to sleep 4 months after I actually started to feel better. So it was all about feeling, and that transformed my life.
Yeah, yeah. And it really is, you know, being able to kind of like recognize and accept and try and work out how to, it's so deep. It really is so deep. You know, how do you get to that point? How do you recognize, even just to go into the mirror, you know, meeting with the mirror. You know, some people run from the mirror because, like you say, there's body dysmorphism, you know. They don't like, I mean, I've got things, you know, people don't like certain parts of their body, their belly, their, you know, their whatever. So it's really deep, it's really difficult, but these are the conversations that we need to be having. And I love that. And it's so simple, you know, and I have meetings with
so simple
all the time. It's so simple stuff.
Simple stuff. Basically, you have everything everything within you.
Yeah.
Everything within you. You do not need to go anywhere else. But make sure there's a higher power looking after you. I pray to God every single morning. That for me, I'm very spiritual. So I don't do it by myself. There's things I cannot do. So I ask for wisdom and guidance. And I always overcome.
And you're doing an absolutely amazing job. So what I'm going to ask you to is post all your contact details into the chat, and hopefully you'll hang around for the Q&A at the end. I haven't got my wonderful co-host with me, because normally Nadia's here to help with all because the chat, my goodness, it's on fire. I can see the fire emojis. Yes, you really light them up this morning, my darling. But it's all good. So Queens, thank you very much. Thank you very much for that, Nelsa. Powerful, really, really powerful. So we're going to move on to our practitioner, our first practitioner this morning. Wonderful vessel of divine light with purpose, mission to impact millions of lives, to raise the vibrations on this planet. Tiik helps people who have experienced trauma get out of physical and emotional pain. Tiik is a sound healer, Reiki master and teacher, transformational coach, speaker, allowing the divine to travel through the throat chakra. Tiik is a dynamic spiritual being originally from Los Angeles, California, and she's now transplanted into the UK. She's here in London. Tiik's love for spirituality originates from a Christian background, which transpired into an immense love for all religions, faiths, and beautiful soul. Tiik utilizes her natural gifts in conjunction with different spiritual modalities to assist people to live a higher version of themselves. Tika, Queen Tiik. Where are you, sweetie?
I am here. Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Hi.
Down. My whole solar plexus is like, woo, that was so beautiful, Queen of Self-Love. Oh my God. I don't know about you beautiful souls, but I'm on fire. I'm like, yeah, sugar. She woke me all the way up too. And
Oh, yes.
I'm feeling so good right now because I can feel the vibration on this call. I just want like the whole chat box to light up for Miss Joan real quick for pulling this whole platform together. Show her some love because without Miss Joan, we wouldn't be here today. So she's the connector, the centerpiece to this sugar dumplings. So we need to show her some love in the chat. Give her some hearts. Raise the roof. Hug yourself like you're hugging her. That's what I'm talking about, sugars, because I gotta throw that love at you. I have to throw that love at you, sugar. I've been knowing you for, well, I don't even know how many years, and I'm so grateful to be amongst you and this beautiful platform. And then just big up to, Queen of Self-Love, Miss Lady. You're so powerful. I felt you in my whole heart chakra. I was like, oh, sugar, I'm going to hug you as soon as this lockdown for real release. And then I just want to take a moment for all the beautiful souls that got up this morning. Like, hug yourself. Raise the roof for you. We in here talking about queens and how to heal and tap back into yourself. For you just showing up this morning, you are showing yourself, hey, before I can serve another person, I need to serve myself, because I know some big givers out here, and you give so much, you deplete yourself. So you showing up this morning to take in from all. It's not just about us speakers or Miss Joan, it's all of you, because we're making this happen as a collective consciousness. So, with that being said, Miss Joan already introduced you. My name is Latiika. Beautiful souls. I like to go as Spiritual Tiik for obvious reasons. Thank you, Mom, for birthing me into this carnation. I feel like I came out the womb like, hey, I'm back to earth. What I got to do this time, sugars? What's going on? How many souls we need to uplift? But it's been its own journey. It's been its own journey. And I'm glad the Queen of Self-Love was talking about that journey, because we all have a story, don't we? Let's really be honest here. We all have a story. We all have a voice. We all are powerful. And I know, sometimes we think, my stuff is heavier to somebody else. But when you start to talk, you start to realize, oh, sugar, the bags of stuff that come in, it can inspire someone else, and you think, am I alone? But sugar, you're not. And that's why we're here on this platform today. True or true. You understand what I mean? And the reality of it is that one of the ways that in which I've found my path, well, actually, I'm like, my path found me. It was a dream. Spirit said, hey, you need to do this thing. And I was like, hey, Spirit, wrong person, not me. I don't think I'm caught up for that. And then Spirit shook me up a little bit and said, you must and you will. So I've learned my valuable lesson over the years. So that's how I'm in front of you beautiful souls today. But the most powerful thing that really shook me up was about the story and how the traumas can impact our lives. And I'm not just talking about on a physical level. I want to go a bit deeper. We're talking about energy. And I want you to write this down because it's important. I don't have time to go into a whole lot of things that I would love to go into this morning. But when we're dealing with energy, and I know it's a lot of spiritual people on this phone, or you're spiritually curious, or you might be religious, whatever it is, your faith, religion, background, as Miss Joan already read it out to you, I embrace it all. I've traveled many places and I see the same movements, and it's really all coming down to about love, right? So when we're talking about energy, we can all agree that we're spiritual beings having a human experience. Can we agree to that? Right? There's a spirit inside of this vessel, sugars. We can agree to that. So if that's true, that means that your consciousness, or whatever it is that you're experiencing in this lifetime, you could be feeling that from way the beginning of this carnation. So I want to just share something with you, because I know this might tap into a few beautiful souls when we're talking about energy and trauma. So write this down. You got the mental body, you got the emotional body, you got the etheric body. And when we're talking about the physical body in itself, and then we're going layers deep into the aura, when you have a trauma that happens to you on a physical body, then it definitely, the mental emotional body, you leave an imprint there. You leave an imprint in that etheric body, so that energy place. And what I mean by that is that just think about that trauma leaving like a little knot inside of your body, right? And let me take you on a journey of, let's just call this child Amber, for example. So the beautiful soul of Amber is coming into, it's in utero, okay? So mama just got pregnant, but mama's uncertain about even having the baby. Mama don't know if she want to have the baby. Now spirit, we can agree, that you're a spiritual being having a human experience. So even in utero, you're taking in information, you're hearing, your whole who you're going to be in this carnation is already beginning to form at every single level, right? So imagine if mama's confused about bringing you into this world and things are happening and you're hearing all of these things. So that may begin to impact you. Or maybe mom's going through some different stresses in her own physical body, or she has things happening in her physical world that's impacting you in utero. You're absorbing that, right? And say this beautiful soul now bursts into this earth. And the first few years of this child's life is met with hardships, maybe experiencing some domestic violence, or maybe there's some difficulties in parenting. Maybe there's some feelings of not being wanted and loved. So we know children are like sponges, right? So as they begin to grow, they're absorbing everything that's around them. So maybe, they're growing up and they're not really liking the color of their skin, because we can get into environmental traumas and as a culture and as a people, and how that's impacted you on how many levels. And then that takes me into something else I want you guys to write down, because I know many of you understand the definition of what trauma is, but we want to talk about the type of traumas that impact you. So when I tap into the word environmental traumas, we're thinking about, you're talking about acute stressors. So acute stress, that's like, you got this single incident. Maybe you were in a physical car accident. Environmental trauma, sugar, what are we talking about? We're talking about repeat chronic trauma. And as a culture, being birthed into this dimension now, as a Black woman, yeah, we've had those traumas going hand in hand in hand. And the question is, where is all of that sitting? So even though consciously you may be moving in a direction where you're like, okay, I'm going to persevere past this, I'm going to do some things to let it go. My experience of working with my clients is as those knots that I was talking about began to sit in your energy centers. And the energy centers that I'm talking about, I am talking about the chakras. So some of you may be familiar with the chakras. Some of you may not be familiar with the chakras, and that's okay. I'm talking about these energy centers, the root chakra, the solar plexus, the sacral chakra, and the heart chakra. So if there's stagnant energies, so like blocks like this in your body, and it creates, and you continue to have these blocks, sugar, what do you think happens over time when you have things that are not moving inside of your body? You know that word people say, dis-ease? Wow. Or I like to call it discomfort, because I truly believe that anything and everything can be healed, because I've seen it happen. I've seen people move from stage 4 cancer. I've seen people move from different levels of depression, anxiety, etc. Because it's all a part of the mindset and being able to shift energy out of the body. And that brings me to going back into energy, and just one of the things that I do, which is sound therapy. Miss Joan knows all about that. And just to kind of tap in that, because I know I'm mindful of time, you got some other powerful, beautiful souls on this platform. But I want to take you through a tip that I want you to utilize in your daily life when it comes to maybe feeling something in the physical body. So just thinking back to the stories that I'm talking about, how trauma builds in different ways, and talking about, chronic trauma, because many of us have suffered, and I'm going to use the word unfortunate, chronic trauma or complex trauma. We got multiple different things that have happened in your life that's been compounded, that impact you on a mental, emotional, physical level, right? So sometimes though, and some of you this may resonate, you may feel a pain somewhere in your body and you're thinking, but I didn't even do anything. What's going on? Or something may happen that triggers, and you might get an energy, what I call energy in motion. So you might feel angry or upset about something, and then it's followed by physical pain. And you're going, what is going on? And you know what I'm talking about, because many of you have had it, right? So what I would like for you beautiful souls to do, whenever you feel like a physical pain in your body, and if you have dis-ease in your body, this will work too. I want you to tap into your universe, your creator, your God, because I'm not going to tell you who to believe in, sugar. I just know that there's a higher power that's working for all of us beautiful. So whatever you call that beautiful energy, sugar, that's what I want you to tap into. But when you tap into that, when you set your scene, so you say, okay, Tiik, I got this pain in my lower abdomen. And sometimes when you have pain in the lower abdomen, we're dealing with the sacral chakra. And in the sacral chakra, that's your sexual energy. That's the energy around passion and creativity. So if there was any trauma there, anything that happened there, then yes, you would naturally have stagnant energy in that space. Okay. Sometimes it may manifest itself into Like I've had people have fibroids or cysts or, irritable bowel syndromes. And so what I am saying is things that happen on the energy level can manifest into the physical. And even though you may tackle something on the physical, you have to dive into the energy element if we're talking about transformation. So say you, for example, feel some pain somewhere inside of your body. I want you to just close your eyes. And in a moment, I'm going to take you, I think I got a few more moments. In a moment, I'm going to take you on a little brief meditation, like 1 or 2 minutes, just to kind of show you what I mean. But you're going to sit with self. You're going to close your eyes. The first thing you're going to do is tapping into that vibration. You're going to ask your God, your creator, your ancestors on a high vibrational level. And here I said high vibrational level, sugar, because that is important. Okay, you don't want it. All our ancestors ain't got our best interest, so a high vibrational level. Okay, sugars. So you're tapping into your ancestors on a high vibrational level, your angels, and you're asking them to surround you. Why? Because as a beautiful queen of self-love just said, you are not in this alone, sugar. You got your soul family here on the platforms like this, and you got your energetic soul family that got your back, and you want them to stand with you in power. So you're going to protect your space with the people that love you the most, right? And the energies that love you the most. So when you do that and you bring that energy amongst you, and it's all about the breath. And but for me, and I know some other beautiful souls may tap into the breath, but what I'm asking you to do when you tap into the breath is I want you to see light. So whatever light you want to see, if you want to see white, the beautiful, most people associate that with the divine. But if you have another color that is powerful for you and makes you feel all good and joyful inside, use that. If it's green, if it's emerald, green and emerald's the same. But if it's violet, whatever the color is, sugar, what I want is that you feel good in your body for self. And when you take that deep breath in, you're going to breathe that light into your body, knowing that your ancestors and your angels got your back and they're there with you. They're holding you, okay, as you are holding them. And in that pain, wherever it is, you're going to send that light energy into that spot. And you're simply just going to observe like it doesn't exist, that it no longer serves you, and it begins to just dissolve in the ether. And as you continue to breathe that beautiful divine healing energy, love, and light into your body, and then on the exhale, you're just observing it dissolve, I guarantee you, with consistency, belief, that power, it'll begin to shift it, because I've seen it happen time and time again. So that's something I want you beautiful souls, kings and queens, to take away. But while Miss John, I got like a minute and a half, I know I do. I want you all to just vibe with me for a second.
You're all right. It's okay, Tiik. Don't worry.
Okay. All right. Okay. I'm just mindful, sugar.
Yeah.
All right. So I want all of you beautiful souls to vibe with me for a few minutes, because I want to just kind of demonstrate to you the power of Tibetan sound bowls, which the ones that I have around me, they tap into the energy centers in your body. So any musicians out there on the platform, you will understand what I'm talking about different notes, frequencies, and vibrations. And anyway, everyone on this platform can agree, because I'm sure some carnival babies on the line, that when you hear your favorite song, you get hype and energized, right? So the Tibetan sound bowls, you may not go out there and start dancing like this, but what it is going to bring your body into a relaxed, calm place. Not too much where you can't hear the other speakers though, but you get my point. So what I would like for you beautiful souls to do wherever you are, and this is just a quick kind of demonstration, I just need you to go ahead and close your eyes for me. Just make sure you're not crossing your arms or your legs. If you're sitting down like me in a lotus position, that's fine, no problem, sugar. But if you can, put your feet flat on the floor, and we're going to turn the palms up. Why we're turning the palms up, sugar? Because I want you to receive the love, the light, and the energy that is going to come from this. And that example that I gave you about breath, for anyone that is currently experiencing any discomfort in their body, I definitely want you to practice this. And even if you're not experiencing any discomfort, then just practice it anyway, pulling that light into your body. Cool beans. I think we're all ready. Let me just see the thumbs up, Miss Joan. You ready? Everybody in the chat box, you ready? Perfect. All right, beautiful souls. So go ahead and close your eyes for a second. And on the count of 3, we're going to breathe together as a collective. 1, 2, 3. Inhale. And a slow exhale. Again, inhaling divine white light and healing energy. souls, take another deep breath in and a gentle exhale. And let me leave you with this prayer. Dear universe, God, creator, all there is, I stand with you in divine healing energy and power with every beautiful soul on this call. May you open up their mind, their heart, to receive the healing vibrations that they're destined to have. That anything in their life that they want to manifest into this world, that we let it be done. That anything in their life that they want to let go, that we let it be done. That we remind them that it is their birthright, that they can and they will, and that they are destined for greatness. That is in your power, your divine love, healing energy and light. It's done. It's done. It's done. Take a deep breath in, beautiful souls, and a gentle exhale. And another deep breath in, and a gentle exhale. And my lovelies, I want to leave you with this. Anything and everything can shift and move out of your body. Remember that you're a spiritual being having a human experience, and the power resides within you. Remember to set your stage to bring in that divine healing vibration of whatever energies that you believe in from that divine power. Breathe in your divine light and send those things that no longer serve you right outside your body so that you, my love, can live your dreams at your highest aspirations. Thank you so much for giving me a moment to vibe with you, beautiful souls. I send you nothing but love and light into your life. I look forward to the next hour and a bit to be on here with you. I love you all. Have a great day.
Oh, bless you, Tiik. Absolutely fantastic. And most people who know me, I've been vibing with you for, oh gosh, I don't even know how long. So Wednesday, 8:30, Tiik does an absolutely fantastic session. My phone is off from about 8 o'clock as I get myself ready to get into the zone, and I vibe with Tiik. Session is powerful. Thank you for sharing. That was just a little taster of what you do. You do that and so much more.
Thank you.
And I like the way you talk about in the way which, you know, there are layers to trauma. So it's really good to kind of like share that and, you know, to give people that kind of basic understanding of what's going on so many different levels. So thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome. Just to quickly say, Miss Joan, if could you mention the Wednesdays? Yeah, I'm just gonna drop something in a link. If you would like to vibe with us on Wednesdays with Miss Joan and I and the other beautiful souls, I'll put something in the group. If you are on your spiritual journey and you like the whole idea of the new moon energy, because the moon vibration is always help. It's always vibing with us. So I do a new moon virtual circle, and I do supporting women and men, whoever wants to join, with manifesting everything into reality. It's better to do your intention setting and manifestations during a new moon cycle. I'll drop that in. But if you'd like to know more about what it is that I do, I'll drop that in too, sugars. So yes,
please, yes,
together.
Yes. Put it all into the chat for us, because I'm sure we'll have people joining us on Wednesday just to vibe with Spiritual Tiik. Beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, my darling. Absolutely. Oh, I mean, I can feel it already in my body, but I need to kind of like, you know. Yes, I can feel the vibrations. Absolutely. It's so powerful, so powerful. So thank you for that. I'm going to move on to my next, love you, my darling. I'm going to move on to my next speaker. I'd also like to just drop a quick reminder in here for new people that have come onto the platform. If you want to hear about future Queen's Walking Group events, please go onto Eventbrite and follow us. And then you'll get the instant notification of when, you know, other Zooms are going to be forthcoming. Recordings, so this recording and past recordings, we have a YouTube channel. So it's the Queen's 2020 Lockdown series. please check it out. All the past recordings have been uploaded onto the channel, and this will be uploaded as well and uploaded in a few weeks' time. And I'm telling you, it needs to be on repeat, because I know that I myself, once it goes up, is going to be watching it probably, you know, however many times. Just probably have it playing in the background at home. So we're only into sort of like a little segment of what we've done so far. So we've had the wonderful Nelsa, and we've just had Spiritual Tiik, and we're going to be moving on now to Maz Alexander, Transformational and Mental Wellbeing Coach. Maz has a passion for supporting women who want to increase their self-worth and those who are struggling with aspects of mental well-being. It appears that many people tend to focus on their physical health at the expense of other aspects of their being. The pandemic had caused many of us to reflect. However, there are still so many people who are burdened and feel stigmatized by reaching out for help. Maz truly believes no one should suffer in silence. So Maz, my darling, are you ready to come onto the platform for us?
Yes, indeed. Joan, as you were reading that, I thought, oh, that sounds good. I thought, who said that? And I thought, it's me. I said it. So thank you. Oh, thank you. By the way, Joan, before I proceed, can I have permission to share the screen at some stage?
Absolutely. Yes, I'll give you that. Yeah.
Right. Thank you very much. Okay, good morning, ladies and gents. Lovely introduction from Joan. So I'm Maz, I'm based in South London. I do wear many hats, but essentially, yes, I'm a mental wellbeing and transformational coach. I still am working as a mental health social worker for the NHS and local authority to deliver secondary mental health care in the community. So I got into this because essentially, like we all do, I want to help people. And I remember when I had to access counseling services for myself a few years back, and there was this lovely little old white man, and I'd go and see him paying big money, you know, and he'd sit there for an hour and he'd go, tell me what you think. And I was, you know, I was like, what's going on here? Oh, don't waste my time. And I thought that has to change. So that's how I got into it, because I think essentially coaching is a great way. And like the sister said before, we have the answers, actually. We have the answers within us. So that is me in a nutshell. I'm going to just do a very brief, and I'm telling you it's very brief. I'm going to have to whiz through this presentation. But before I start, I'm always interested to know, when I say the word mental health, I'm curious to know what comes to mind. So please put your answers in the chat, because, you know, it's different. Every group says something different. So while you're doing that, I'm going to just prepare my presentation. I'm going to share the screen, Joan, if I can. Right. Okay. In fact, let me do that in a moment. Okay, I see some answers coming up, because of course it means different things to different people. Yeah, thank you, Shirley. Yes, essentially, for the purposes of this presentation, so when I'm talking about mental health, I'm talking about the way we think, how we feel, how we act. In a nutshell, that's what I'm talking about. But I must also say that we all have mental health, by the way, just like we all have physical health. So it's important to be mindful of that. Now let me get this screen up. Bear with, I've had to use a different computer. Okay, John, can you give me a thumbs up if you can see? Can you see that? Right, okay, thank you. Right, let me make that bigger. Okay, so that's what we're going to be talking about. Mental health, the elephant in the boardroom. Okay. So, I love this illustration. See the elephants there talking to his psychiatrist. And essentially that's how it is. Although we're talking about it more, there's still that stigma that exists. And we want to try and remove that. So, okay. Basically, the simple aims and objectives, we just want to define what that means. We want to raise awareness about mental health and well-being. We want to discuss the causes and the impact. And finally, we are going to look at, you know, well-being, how we develop our well-being and coping strategies. So, okay. As I mentioned earlier, we all have mental health in the same way that we all have physical health. We have an allocation of that. And many people have mental health concerns from time to time, but a mental health concern only becomes a mental illness when we experience ongoing signs and symptoms that are causing us prolonged distress, and it impacts our ability to function. So this definition right here from the World Health Organization kind of summarizes it quite well. So, you know, it says mental health is not just the absence of mental disorder. It is defined as a state of well-being in which every individual realizes their own potential. They can cope with the normal stresses of life. They can work productively and fruitfully, and they're able to make a contribution to their community. Now, as we know, we're in a pandemic, you know, and that has had significant implications for us achieving all those things that we're supposed to be able to do. And from what I've seen, even working in secondary mental health care, it's people often present when they're in a state of crisis. So, and I'm talking to myself here, we often fail to recognize that something might be wrong until we present with symptoms. There would have been, you know, signs along the way. But I think mental health is like any other skill in life. It's something that we have to practice. And we also have to be mindful that we can fluctuate throughout life. It doesn't always stay the same as we move through different stages of life. And I think many of us are familiar that with that government statistic that 1 in 4 people in the UK anyway will experience a mental health problem. I think the true figure is significantly higher because not everyone will seek help. Not everyone will get a diagnosis. And yeah, like I said, the stigma is alive and well. I hear people saying things to me like, one guy said to me at a business networking meeting, he said, mental health, we don't have that in my country. He's like, what's that? And I thought that was quite ludicrous, because that's like saying we don't have rain in my country. So yeah, I suppose if it doesn't affect you, you might not see it. So let me just move on. Okay. I was going to ask you if we had time, Joan. I know we don't have much time. I was going to put them in breakout rooms and get them to discuss this, but here is a list. It's not an exhaustive list, but of causes and triggers, because...
Sorry, Maz, maybe they can put something in the chat. Would that work?
Please. Yes, yeah. In fact, you know what? Let me go back. Yeah, I'll go back to that. But yeah, I just want to know, because it's different. There are various reasons. And so, yeah, please put in the chat what you think the potential causes and triggers are. Because, you know, it's been said that the quality of our lives is directly linked to the quality of our thoughts, our words, things like food, sleep, our level of fitness, whether we feel we have purpose, our environment, as some of the sisters had mentioned earlier. So there can, you know, cause and effect. There's many things that can trigger this. So let me see, I can't see all the chat, but I'm sure you're going to cover this. So let me go to the next slide. Okay. So here are some, and these are just a fraction of some of the potential causes and triggers. You know, most common ones that I see, various types of trauma, including child abuse or any other kind of abuse, actually. It could be that you have a physical health problem that then impacts on your mental health. Many of us here know about discrimination, social disadvantage, those kind of things. So
some of the triggers that they've come up with.
Yeah, please tell me.
Chronic pain, institutional racism, loss, stress, burnout, relationship breakdown, worrying about the future, having too many children, racism again, bullying in the workplace.
Yes.
Family issues, bereavement, child abuse, past and future emotional feelings. So does that capture? Yeah.
It does, essentially. Yeah, you see, that's the whole presentation, Joan. We're done. No, but that's what it is. And as you can see, none of us are immune from the pressures of life. We're certainly being tested during this lockdown. So these are just some examples. Let me just move on. Okay. And it's also important for us to know what our own triggers are. It looks different for different people. And how do we safeguard our own mental health and well-being? Okay. So I talked about, I won't take too long with this, but the pandemic is you know, a major thing. These stages of how we responded to it, because, you know, if I would have told you, Joan, 2 years ago, I would have said, right, you know what's going to happen, yeah? The economy is going to shut down. Loads of people are going to die, yeah? You're gonna lose some finances, some relationships. Bear with, let me get that off. And all kinds of things are going to affect you. You would have thought that I wasn't taking my medication, wouldn't you, Joan? You would have said, no, that's not happening. But look, we're living the nightmare right here. So we went through the first stage. We couldn't believe what was happening. Then came the anger. Many of us are still in there, so I am. And then we had the sadness. You know, our liberties were taken away. Some of us have lost identities, loved ones, and all that brings. Some of us moving into the acceptance phase because, you know, it is what it is. And some people, not me, are in the optimism stage, whereby, you know, Boris is starting to open up the economy. We can see the light at the end of the tunnel. But it's kind of like the stages of grief. You know, this is more applicable when we've lost someone. But just to say, it's not a linear process, because in any one day, in fact, in any 1 hour, you can be, you know, like the diagram on the right, you can be all over the place, and it's a roller coaster of emotion, because we're not actually designed to live like caged animals. So of course, it's no surprise that we are experiencing all plethora of emotions. That's quite normal under the circumstances. Okay, sorry, I'm racing through this. Okay, just to say, I mentioned earlier that it's important that we know what our own triggers are. We had various examples of what those were. Sometimes we don't want to be like the frog, Joan. We don't want to be like that frog that's chilling with his cocktail in the pot. It's the boiling frog metaphor, whereby if you put a frog in the boiling water, it will jump out. But if you put the frog in warm water and you turn up the temperature gradually, the frog fails to realize that it's being boiled alive, because it kind of adjusts its own body temperature. We can be like the frog sometimes, in that we fail to recognize certain things within ourselves. So just, you know, we stay in relationships, work environments, and things that are hostile and detrimental to our own mental health and well-being. And it's a bit like driving a car. You know, you wouldn't drive the car and keep driving it when you see the petrol light keep flashing up, because if you do that, it's going to break down. And similarly, you know, the way we think about mental health, like I said, we should look at it more like how we do with physical health. So if some of us may have asthma, for example, we don't say to an asthma sufferer, why can't you breathe? Just breathe. You don't need that inhaler. You just need to breathe like the rest of us. We don't say that, because that's ludicrous. So, you know, it's just about having a bit more compassion where people are suffering emotionally and otherwise. Okay, I'm not going to go through that. That's just about the government agenda, but it's not working right now, so won't get political, Joe. I'll save that. Let me get rid of. Okay, so we're going to move on and yeah, look at, I mentioned this earlier, essentially, how do we safeguard our own mental health and well-being? Do we know what we need, actually? And I have a question, because in many settings, people say, well, that's mental health, it's not me. And that's why I say it impacts us all. So we need to be aware of what our needs are before we end up in crisis, essentially. Okay, my sisters earlier taught me some hope strategies that we need to utilize to keep ourselves well. And I won't go through all of them, but essentially, I think acceptance is key. Acknowledgement, you have to first acknowledge before you can accept. Is there something happening? You know, are you feeling overwhelmed? What's happening? What's your body telling you? you know, because your body will actually tell you before your mind will. And just accept where you are in the journey. Something that us women do, comparison, which is definitely the thief of joy. We might look at you, John, and say, Joan, you look Chris, you know, look at you in your beautiful dress. I aspire to be like Joan, but Joan's on her own journey, and we need to accept where we are, even if where we are is in the gutter, so to speak. That's where it is. The ladies talked before about mindfulness affirmations. Now, I only just got onto this, but there is something very powerful about declaring what you believe about yourself. Sister talked about doing that in the mirror, you know, and these are very useful tools. So for me, I have a few affirmations. So things like, you know, I'm growing and learning every day. I am loving myself more every day. I have what I need to achieve. I have everything I need to achieve what I need to reach my goals. All those kind of things. I write them down as well because I'm quite visual. There are various, and being authentic is linked with that. I think we need to create a society whereby when someone asks you how you are, tell them how you are, actually. It's quite easy, you know, we're inclined to say, oh, I'm fine, because we don't necessarily want everybody to know our business. But we, the ones that are asking, how are you, need to also create an environment for people to answer honestly, you know, and we need to support each other. So we know about the link between mood and food, but it's not just about what you're consuming in terms of food. What are you watching? So I had to turn off the news, for example, because it was just doom and gloom. It was depressing. You know, what are you listening to? Are you still listening to Uncle John, who told you you'd never amount to anything? You know, we have to protect our space. And then finally, things like whatever makes your heart sing, whatever feeds the soul is what you need to engage in. Life has to have meaning, and we can't go, you know, it's bad enough when we're in certain jobs, going through that monotony. We have to do something that inspires us, whatever that may look like. Okay, just coming to the final slide. Oh, there's two more. These are just examples of people who have overcome, powerful leaders who have had mental health disorders, but yet still live very powerful, influential lives. So yeah, you know, certain things do not have to limit us. Okay, and finally, there are, I hear a lot in the community, there's not much support, and there isn't, there's lots of cuts. However, here are some free resources that you can tap into if you need to talk. Sometimes it's good to talk to someone who's neutral, who may not be your family, friends, or what have you. I myself, as a coach, I always offer, I have a few slots actually this April for any women and men, don't get many men, but any women who want to just have a well-being session. I'll put my details in the chat. But just to let you know that, yeah, essentially nobody should suffer in silence. You don't have to, and please talk to someone if you feel you need to. So that is the end of my presentation. I'll stop sharing here. Thank you all for your time and for listening. Okay.
Ah, Maz.
Come back, Joan. Where you gone, Joan?
I'm here. In the background on the phone doing other bits, but I'm here. Oh, that was
Thank you.
From a different angle. And that's what I love about pulling together the panels in the same kind of genre, all in the same sort of feel, but you've all got something very unique and different to share and bring to the guests on the platform. So that was wonderful, wonderful. And I like the frog analogy, you know, and it's so true. Sometimes you're in things and you just don't realize that you're slowly being boiled to death.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it's really to have, you know, some kind of trigger or strategy to recognize, because sometimes you're so immersed in these situations that you don't realize, and it really is that slow death. So,
it is.
And it was, and I also like the way in which you explained about, you know, it's very much a journey, isn't it?
It is.
It's very much a journey, and recognizing when you need help and that there's help out there. And yeah, it's...
And can I say one final thing, Joan? Just quickly, just knowing that we, because I think the majority of us here are Black people, that we are overrepresented in the system, and I don't like to see that. But I'm also noticing over the years, especially we've got this thing, because as women as well, we are nurturers, and we you know, we have to be strong, especially if we're mothers and what have you. But I've seen that sometimes it's not always healthy. Sometimes we compare our traumas and measure them. In fact, sometimes we don't realize that we're carrying trauma, and because we think we haven't been in a war zone, or you know, but we're carrying it. You know, it's all that colonial mentality or whatever it is that we're carrying, and we don't realize. So yeah, let's just recognize where we are. So yeah, thank you.
Oh, thank you very much for sharing that, and hopefully you'll stick around for a quick Q&A session at the end. So if I could ask all presenters again to please post your contact details into the chat, because I know people have been asking about your sessions, Tiik. So keep an eye on the chat, everybody, so you can respond as appropriate. So we've had 3 phenomenal presenters, practitioners already. Nelsa, oh, absolutely. This, you know, she just lit the platform. She set the tone for this, you know, regal, deep energy session. Queens, loving ourselves, mind, body, and soul. And I'm just loving it. Absolutely, thoroughly enjoying it. You know, we've had Latiika, Spiritual Tiik, come on the platform, and we've done some vibing with the Tibetan meditation bowls. Beautiful. And we've had Maz Alexander now, transformational and mental well-being coach. Amazing. And we now have Naomi Davidson, well-being specialist and wellness coach, coming onto the platform. So Naomi endorses a holistic approach to her work, a qualified counsellor, community nutritional advisor and fitness instructor, teaching both yoga and boxing. Naomi is an author and researcher. She has a psychology degree, a master's in advanced statistics and research, over 15 years of research and analysis experience, and a passion for conducting research on Black women and men's health. Naomi, she's a busy chick. She really is. She runs several projects which support women, mothers, and young girls through fitness and well-being, including those who have experienced domestic violence and young female care leavers who have been subjected to sexual exploitation or violence. Naomi is a blogger and founder of More Yoni, provides a wellness practitioner network, and is co-director of an organisation supporting vulnerable parents and families. Naomi is also a mother of 2 awesome children. Girl, you are busy. And you do so much for our community. You truly are blessed. So where are you, my darling?
I'm here, Joan. Thank you. I was just enjoying it. That was part of the self-love. But you know what I mean? Like, yes, more. Thank you so much. Thank you for the invite, Joan. You know, when you just love Joan, I just want to say I just love Joan. I feel like I love Joan more than everybody here. You know, like those ones. If Joan contacts me, it doesn't matter what I'm doing. You know, those ones like a disciple angel, you just drop down the phone and you're like, where are we going? Medea, you know, and you just start moving, you know, because you know that she's a boss, wherever she is, just pure positive vibes. So it's just a blessing and an honor just to be on this platform. I know Tiik already, so I've got mad love for Tiik, and just so far everything has just resonated. Like the self-love, when she's talking about the self-love in the mirror, I was like, yes, you know, like just Tiik and the healing, I just feel woo. So yes, thank you so much. My name is Naomi. So today I've been requested to kind of talk about yoga and coming from that angle. So what I'm going to do is, Joan, is it possible to share my screen? Thank you. So I've got a presentation and I'm also going to do a practical. The presentation is very quick. And so just like me, I help men and women kind of try to support holistic lifestyle and life balance. So I believe in having balance both about male and feminine energies. So at the moment we are kind of living, I always kind of say this, but we're living in a predominantly male energetic world. So it's very fast paced, moving, productive, you know, a doing energy, and kind of at the detriment to the feminine aspects of ourselves, which is more of in tune, a little bit more passive and active, but just as powerful. So I think because we're not in that doing space, sometimes we tap into that masculine, but actually, as you can see, sometimes that leads to burnout and a lot of stress. So that kind of will you know, be in some of the presentations, the things that I talk about. So it really is trying to balance both sides. So I have clients who just can't sit still, just can't be. If they're not doing, they feel actually really non-productive. But what I try to highlight is that most of our ideas, our kind of insights, our breakthrough actually happen in the silence, actually happen in the space. So whether you take the time yourself, the universe, God, the creator, the spirits, sometimes they will force you to sit down and rest up yourself, to tap in, whether you like it or not. So you can't beat the system, the forces are there. So what I hopefully try to do is try to get you there before. And most of us, probably the practitioners on this platform, have probably come from their own experiences, like we heard from the New Side of Self-Love lady, that usually that's the thing that kind of makes us. So for me, my whole journey started because I ignored the signs and symptoms that I got physically, and they just, it's like a catalyst. When one thing goes in one area, the whole life, it just starts like a thread, you know. So just like a car, we need to also, you know, because I've got my car, and anyone who drives, you know, when something goes wrong and you might ignore it and you're still driving this thing, then something else, you're still driving. Well, it's just me, I don't know, some other people might take their car straight away, but I literally, and then the guy will say to me, so when did it start? You know, you're ashamed to say, well, actually, if I'm honest, it was quite a while back. You know, when you get the first symptoms, that's like how we're saying, and T kind of highlighted it from an energetic point of view. If you can see something physically manifesting, know that it's already manifested energetically, you know, in the space, in the dark, in the night ether. The physical manifestations means that it's already taken hold, you know. So it's really because we have disconnected from being in tune with ourselves. This is why we wait for that physical manifestation to happen. But actually, that's not, I would say it's too late, but we're already on the next stage. So we just need to be more in tune. But you see, this fast-paced living that we have is there to disconnect us from ourselves. You see, it's not cool to go in tune. So it doesn't need to be a glorious, I didn't start my presentation. Let me just go to the presentation. Sorry, people, you know, before I get muted, I don't want to get muted. I see people get muted. I'm like, not me. Okay, hold on. Let me share my screen. I'll really try my hardest.
It's so true. You know, the system is in a way designed to, like you say, disconnect us.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Resonate with that.
Can you see my?
I can see it. Yeah, just need to make it bigger, darling.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
Yes.
So yes, so it's quite strange to be talking about yoga and then doing a slide. But again, like I said, it's about balance. So what I see is that knowledge is power. So sometimes I can speak it, sometimes people need to visually see it, some people need to do it. So I'm trying to tap into that. Even when I work with people around their food, sometimes when they're like, oh, well, I don't like smoothies, I don't like juicing, I say, you know what I want you to do before you have that juice, before you have that smoothie, before you have that salad, just read up about the ingredients, read about what it's doing, and that will help you stay on course. So yes. Okay, let me get back to the benefits of yoga. So yoga. So this is just like we hear yoga, it's all popular now, it's all fantastic. Everyone's talking about yoga, everyone's doing it. There's all these different types of yoga. And if you're like me, I experienced yoga many, many years ago and didn't like it, could not sit still. I was like, what is this dryness, this boreness? You know, like when I was just like, oh, this umming. I'd gone to one where I think the whole session was umming. I was just like, I can't be doing this. It was fidgety until I had a blessing from an angel who I was stressed, and my way of getting out of it was having a glass of red wine. That was my self-care. I come back from from work and I was just like, red wine. And then he's introduced me to hot yoga. It changed my life because the hot yoga literally depleted me. And so I had no choice. So through that, I teach Muay Thai. Well, I'm a Muay Thai practitioner and Thai boxing, and yoga was the balance that I was missing. So I got out my stress, but there was still the other side. So yeah, so yoga, many, many different styles. You choose one that suits you. There are many, many different ones. But the main aim, I think, with all of them is kind of they're all kind of linked to physical postures, breathing techniques, meditation and relaxation. I was trained in neuroepigenetic yoga in Austria, which is a totally different style and a very new brand. It spoke to me because I'm about epigenetics. Like one of my PhD proposals is the epigenetics of slave disorder and on the health outcomes of Black women. So that's my thing. So epigenetically, now the epigenetics is a kind of a big topic, but when I started on the journey, it wasn't. So you choose what you want, but my aim is about stress release because I had a high stress. So whether you call it yoga, it's up to you, but stretching. So if we just keep it as stretching is a natural part of life. So I teach many Muslims, I think maybe about 70% of my classes are Muslim ladies. They, you know, haram, it's a sin to do yoga because of the link between animals. It's also a lot of Christians don't really kind of get into it because from the same kind of religious reasons. I take all of that out. I'm not into the kind of purist or theorist of yoga. I just know stretching is good for your body. It's natural. We have been doing it. Animals do it. You see them stretch, you wake up, you stretch. Stretching is a releasing. So, you know, just think of all the names that we have. It's a natural thing. The names of the yoga postures, the cobra, eagle, cat, all of these things show you that it's a natural integral part of kind of being. Unfortunately, unlike animals, we hold a lot of stress in the body because of our busyness, our modern lifestyle, high stress levels. So, you know, almost every system in the body can be influenced by chronic stress. So unreleased, I think most people know that it releases cortisol, which kind of, you know, lowers our immunity. So us thinking that we're juggling all of these things and blah, 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 actually our body takes a toll. We need to slow down. We sit too much, we go too fast. These are things that we just need to slow down. Even if you're a spiritual being having a physical experience, you still are wrapped up in a physical portal, which you need to look after. You need to house your body. You are made of flesh and water, so you can just, you know, like you will notice the difference. So some people are just trying to float. They're forgetting that their body, it gets tired. You need rest, you need good food. So if you don't believe me, again, my background is research. So in the stress research, you'll see fatigue. Fatigue is one of the number one in terms of stress symptoms. So it's that feeling of constant tiredness and weakness. And so these are ways that stress manifests itself in the body. So once some of the studies show 51% of adults experience fatigue. So 44% headaches and 30% tension in their muscles, all due to stress. Stress is a silent killer. Stress is implicated in most of our illnesses. For example, in 2019 to 20, stress, depression, and anxiety accounted for 51% of work-related ill health cases. 51%, and 55% of all working days were lost due to work-related ill health. And even when stress was cited or depression or anxiety, remember, when you're taking time off, usually from migraines, headaches, backache, these are stress related, just because they haven't got the stress label. So actually the figures are probably a lot higher. Stress is in many, many, many of the symptoms that we experience. Oh, I've got some flashing going on. Okay, so just my warning is about that busyness, high stress levels. It's just about stretching, slowing down, I went so fast. Look at me, I'm like slowing down and I'm going fast through this. Okay, what's it say? Yes, symptoms can cause tightness and tension to the muscles, your neck, your back, irritability, bad posture. Please, 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 family, queens, don't ignore those symptoms. Don't. They will get bigger, they will get worse, and they will spread, okay? So one of the benefits of yoga or stretching is to kind of balance that parasympathetic, look, I can't even say it, but just read it, it's on the slide, yeah? The nervous system, it relaxes you, you know, it lowers your blood pressure. There are so many benefits to yoga and stretching, yeah? So there's so many benefits. And most importantly for me and the practice that I teach, like everything I do is holistic wellness, holistic well-being, is that it gives you that opportunity for that kind of mindful, that mindfulness. It is your mindfulness. So I'm going to do a little demo with you and I hope that you will join me. But it's that opportunity for us to become in tune and connect with our body, our mind-body connection, our breath, physical sensations. And so for me, it's really that starting point. So I used to, with Tiik, I think we must have done it last lockdown, but we used to do Soul Wednesdays. So I would do the yoga session first, and then people would jump onto Tiik doing the sound healing. And that was just a really good way for me, because I felt like physically you remove all that stress, you slow down, and then they jumped onto Tiik, I think at 8:30, has sound healing. It was a beautiful combination. So this is my last slide. So it's just to say that I've got loads of kind of videos on my YouTube. If you go to Queen's Project UK, that, you know, they're about 15 minutes, 10 minutes. And also I've got a free class on a Wednesday, 30 minutes soul yoga. So I'll stop sharing. So sorry for really going on, but right now, if you could be lying down in your bed, I just want you to maybe just stand up with me, please. We sit down too much, our hip flexors, and just to kind of stretch our body. But what we're going to do before we even stretch, so it's just a quick one. We're not going to go into a deep yoga stretch. Is that I'm just going to show you some mobilization. So if you're like me and you're starting to get nearer the age of 50, oh, look at you seeing all the mess there, the mess in the corner. Let me just angle up the camera. You know, when you throw it in the Zoom, they don't see the other half of your house, you know. If you're like me, nearing 50 or you've just gone past 40, your body is going to lose some of that fluid in the joints. So one, we live in a cold England, yes, which is not our natural space. So you know that kung and cracking of the bones, okay, that's age related, and it's also due to the coldness. But we need to increase the fluid at our joints. You cannot, yes, I'm 60, yes. But you see, if you start to do preventative, you'll see people in some of my classes that I train in, they are way older than me, more flexible, more agile than me. So it really shows that it's a lifestyle. So what I'm going to show you is a head to toe kind of, look at everyone now with their 62 trying to get into the thing, all right. Everybody looks good, everybody's fabulous. But so it's about increasing that synovial fluid in the joints. So what we're going to start from head to toe. Before you even think about doing yoga, I was doing yoga before, and all these little slim things and people that are naturally flexible were all like that. And I was like, I'm pulling things. And I said, nah, I realized I'm not as flexible. I need to warm up my body. So if you feel tight, use these mobilizations to warm up your body. So from our neck, our chin, we're going to just roll our chin across. So again, all you're doing is mobilizing the joints, increasing the fluid. It's your opportunity to be mindful, checking out all that tension and tightness that we hold in this area of our neck, our shoulders, and our upper back. And then you're going to roll from the back of your neck. So you're rolling all the way around, trying to get your ear to touch your shoulder. Again, being mindful, checking out for pain, for tightness. You come back to the center, you bring your shoulders up and over. Sometimes we carry so much stress. Some people are walking around with their shoulders high and they don't realize that they're walking like that until they release and let go. And then just take the shoulders back. So this is something you can do. You can do as many times as you want with the mobilizations. Then we're going to swing the arms around. So I'm going quite fast just to show you head and body. We're working with all of the joints, just swinging here, and then take the arms the other way. So all you're doing, again, you can feel what your body's feeling. It's unique to you. And now what we're going to do is a kind of Tai Chi move, which is wrapping our arms. Think of this as self-love, yeah? This whole act, everything we're doing is self-love, yeah? Self-care. So we're loving ourselves. You're wrapping your arms around, you're giving yourself a hug. But what we're also doing is redistributing the chi, that stagnant energy around the abdominal area, okay? We're stimulating our liver, our kidneys, our spleen. So when they're doing Tai Chi, some of the people do this for about 6 minutes, just this area, all around here, this belly fat. And talking about belly fat, stress and cortisol is glue to belly fat. I did a 10 life hacks for belly fat, and cortisol and stress was #1. So we're just here wrapping round, and if you want to, you can bring your ankle into it, and then we go all the way round. This is where you feel the back of your legs and that lower back. So here, going all the way round. I've got a video for this. So you're just going round, you inhale and you exhale. So we always inhale for length when you're going high, and you exhale when you go for depth. And then just take it the other way. So you just here. It doesn't matter how far, but this is your opportunity to see how's the back of your legs feeling, how's your arms, everything. Sometimes it's your bed, posture, sitting over your laptop on tablets. And then what we do is then we're going to take the hips round. Now the hips are very important. We hold as women a lot of emotional trauma in our hips. So I think I had a 7-day self-love challenge in February, and part of it was yoga. I just take the hips back the other way, nice big circles. And we did a lot of hip openers because there's traumas trapped there through childbirth, through other maybe abuses. So we spend a lot of time on our heart chakra opening and the hips. And then you just take the knee and just open up. So again, this is your opportunity just to see how am I feeling? How tight are my hips? And then you close it back, closing it back, closing it back. Again, closing it back. We come down to our knees. So just your hands above the knees, you squat down, up and down. Again, the knees, love your knees, learn to nurture your knees. If you run outside on the concrete, please make sure you do mobilizations, because again, the knees, once you have an injury, it's very hard to reverse. And then we open up the knees. Now, some of you might recognize this move back in the dance. This probably was your favorite move. Some of you are probably giving it a little shimmy now and then taking it the other way. So just really loving your knees. And then just coming up, we just rotate our wrists, our ankle in both directions at the same time. Just taking it round. And then going the other way. And again, this is the way that I start my yoga classes, my box fix classes, all the classes we always do mobilizations. And then you will go on to do your stretches, bring the shoulders up, reaching. You might feel naturally that you want to stretch back. You might feel naturally that you want to come down forward. You might feel naturally you want to bring this here. You want to take it out. You want to just naturally, it's your opportunity to stay in tune. So thank you very much. Like I said, I've got videos and things that you can connect with, low pace and in your own way. Thank you, Joan.
Wow. That was fantastic. Queens, we're going to have to do this session again, It's so powerful. The spiritual aspect, that holistic, the physical aspect. Wonderful. Thank you so much for that, Naomi. Powerful, really, really powerful. I've got ears stretched. I'm always making my notes. I mean, the mere stats around the levels of stress and anxiety, they speak for themselves, don't they? And people don't realize some of the pains and things that they're experiencing is due to stress. Yeah, so powerful. And physical manifestations. Yes. Tell me a little bit more about that when you were talking about physical manifestations. Are you on mute, babes? Can we unmute you? Oh, you can't unmute. What do I press on here? You can't unmute. Oh, let me see if I
can now. Yeah. I was like, yeah, so the physical manifestations are psychosomatic. So those are where, you know, I think someone mentioned it before, but where, you know, the doctors can't find a physical kind of cause, but you are having a physical experience or something. And that's when, look, just as I'm talking, the NHS vaccine thing, sorry, the COVID, they've been really hounding me, sorry. But yes, it's about all of this kind of trauma and stress manifesting itself physically in the body, but where you don't have a physical cause. So sometimes it's migraines, it's headaches, it's ulcer, it's digestive issues. All of these things are aggravated by stress, and that's the manifestation in the body. So that's where we see it. But like I said, usually it's too late. So we need to start to get more in tune. So being silent, being still and connecting. So all of these things that are there to make our life easier, they are good. Don't get me wrong, but they're there to disconnect. So all of these modern things, like even the fact, you know, the toilet, the way that we go on the toilet, the way that we even give birth is not in the natural position when we should be squatting. The fact that we're sitting down, our hip flexors get very tight. So the hip flexors are tight, which also causes a problem because obviously our upper and lower body are connected, and that agile of movement, the tightness will cause stiffness. So we'd have to do more exercises to increase that. So, and everything's fast paced. So even if you are doing the fast paced stuff, like I do, like I said, the Muay Thai, kickboxing, the box fit, it's just about balancing your, you know, and slowing down slightly. So whether it's meditation, and I'm just saying stretching is one of the good ways because it's about releasing, bringing it there, stretching, and just getting rid of the tension. So yeah.
Oh, thank you very, thank you so much for that. Wonderful. And it's good to have that bit of movement as well. Sometimes the long sitting, you need to get up and just kind of shake it up a bit. So thank you.
And so that's why I was just saying, sorry, it doesn't matter whether you're into yoga or not, just stretch your body, and you'll naturally, if you follow your body's lead, you will naturally know where you need to stretch. And like my favorite one, because we carry a lot of tension in our shoulders, handbags, and just pressure. So our shoulders and our neck are the place. So that's what leads to kind of the headaches and migraines. When you go through a door, if you can reach, but the door frame, grab the door frame and just lean forward, but keep your hands there. It's a really nice stretch, you know, and really nice. So every door frame, just grab it before you go through and give yourself a little stretch from those shoulders. So yeah, my last tip.
Oh, lovely. Well, that's what the platform's all about, dropping the gems. So you don't have to go and buy any expensive equipment. You've got everything already. Yeah, everything already. Thank you so much for that, my darling. We've got another wonderful speaker coming up, Lorna Archer, holistic wellbeing therapist, meditation and mindfulness teacher and wellness coach. Also the founder of Wellbeing Well You. So whilst Lorna gets ready, I just want to thank everybody for being on the platform. You've all been absolutely wonderful, fantastic, amazing. And we are so blessed and honoured to have all the practitioners, all the speakers on the platform with us this morning. Oh, you know, I always say together we are so strong. Together we are stronger. It's been a wonderful morning, really, really powerful. And we've got people joining us all the time. So just to let people know to join us on future Zoom events, please follow us on Eventbrite. It's the Queen's Walking Group, and then you will get instant notifications for when forthcoming sessions are coming up. This event is being recorded for upload onto our YouTube channel, Queen's 2020 Lockdown Series. So please like, subscribe, follow, comment. Yeah, we've got a raft of past Zooms that have been uploaded. And also to thank my business partner, Rudy James, who's in the background doing all the techie stuff. I can see in the chat, yeah, we've got a big you up, Rudy. Thank you for your help and support. Wonderful business partner. And we make this happen every week, every Saturday morning, 8 o'clock sharp. So, Lola, my darling, welcome to the platform. Wellbeing Well You was born out of Lorna's passion for the wellness and holistic world for many years. And she was inspired to start her journey into wellness with supporting people to become the best version of themselves. Wellbeing Well You specializes in providing therapies which support mind, body and soul, including massage therapy, wellbeing coaching, wellness and self-care workshops, and meditation support through group or one-to-one sessions. So, my darling Lorna, where are you?
I am here, Joan. Can you hear me, everyone?
Yes, I can hear you. I can't see you yet.
Oh, you can't see me? Oh.
Because I've got so many people on the platform.
Okay, I'm on the screen.
I've got you now. Yes, I've got you now.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Queen Joan. Hi, Queens and Kings, if you are here too. I am so honoured to be on this platform, Joan. I have to say a big thank you to you and to Rudy and for your team in the background. And I want to say what an amazing panel of queens you have. I feel like I've been nourished so much this morning already that I'm just sitting here and my heart just feels full. So I want to say thank you to everybody who has already spoken and those who are here. So as Joan says, my name is Lorna. I am a holistic wellbeing therapist, meditation and mindfulness teacher, and a wellness coach, and the founder of Wellbeing Well You, and also the creator of an IGTV series called What's in Your Cup. Now, today we're talking about queens loving ourselves. And I have to say, you know, I want to talk about the importance of self-care, self-love, and filling up our cup. For me, self-love is really a journey. It really is a journey which I think we're learning every single day. And for me, my journey started many, many years ago. The self-love journey started many years ago. And I was in the corporate world for about 33 years, 33 years. And I loved that world. But what I found in that world is that I was serving everybody else but myself. So I'm also a mother of 2 adult, amazing queens. And in that corporate world, it was very challenging, very stressful, and raising 2 children as well. It was very demanding. And what I found, I was not really giving to myself, and I was aware of it, but I kept going until I became ill. And some of the other lovely queens have talked about, you know, stress and keeping going and things like that. Sometimes you recognize that there is stress or disease or discomfort within your body or within your mind. But what we do, we continue to put others first. So, you know, whether that be children, work, business, family, and we put ourselves at the bottom of the rung. And I found I was doing that. And what I decided to do, I said to myself, I made a plan, I had a vision, and I said, one of these days, I'm going to really start putting myself first. But you know what, Joan? I didn't. I kept going until one day I became ill. I was still in the corporate world. I became ill. And that was the light bulb moment when I was told that I was ill and I had to do something about it. So that gave me an opportunity to get exposure and awareness to the whole holistic nutritional world. And it sparked a desire and a passion in me. And I said, I need to start really helping myself for me to be able to help others. So I continued in the corporate world, but I did sow the seed of saying that I want to be able to support myself and help others to really make their well-being a priority. So that's really what the mission of Wellbeing Well You is. It's about educating, encouraging and empowering you to make your well-being a priority. So self-love or loving ourselves, you know, what does that look like? You know, I think empowering ourselves is really a learned behavior. And, you know, sometimes it's really, some of the other ladies touched on it as well. Our mindset is powerful. It starts with self. So really, you know, that whole mirror analogy, I loved what the other practitioner said about the mirror analogy. 2017 was a pivotal moment for me where I stood in the mirror and I looked at myself and I didn't like what I saw because I realized that I was not actually really loving myself. I wasn't really nurturing and, you know, doing the best for myself. So, you know, showing love to yourself can be, is an interesting journey. And if you don't know how to do it, you might feel uncomfortable in that space. So what I try to do with my clients, I help them to really empower themselves to say to yourself, okay, what do I need? How do I love myself? Because how we love ourselves and how we value ourselves enables us to show others how we want to be loved and how we want to treat ourselves. So self-care really forms a big part of our journey, our self-love journey. And self-care comes in the form of different ways for everybody. It could be, you know, doing yoga, it could be meditation, it could be going for a walk, it could be dancing, it could be listening to music. Whatever fills your soul, it forms part of your self-care. And I try and really encourage that with my clients, that, you know, investing in yourself, you know, pays dividends in the long run. It really is about supporting your mind, body and soul with different types of rituals, practices, and being consistent and with a self-care ritual is really important, because you sometimes only when you become ill, I found when I was in the corporate world, only when I became ill that I really started to truly look at my well-being. And so I say to everybody, you know, self-care is really about a lifestyle. It shouldn't be something that we pick up when we're ill or an emergency happens. It's really about forming a holistic part of your lifestyle on a day-to-day basis. Just like we, you know, feed ourselves with nourishing good food, we drink healthy water, we surround ourselves with the right inner circle. The same thing that we need to do with self-care is part of our lifestyle. So for me, having a holistic approach to what I do on a day-to-day basis is really important. And I really try to encourage and empower individuals to make that part of their journey. So, you know, going back to 2017, when I looked in the mirror, it's really started a journey that has really transformed my life. And I feel that, you know, self-love and self-care really is a transformational process. And now the space that I'm in now is a completely different space to what I was in 3 years ago. 2018, I said enough of the corporate world. I got tired of filling up everybody else's cup because mine was depleted. And so in 2018, I decided that I'm going to, you know, start that purpose of what I promised myself many years ago. And I decided to set up Wellbeing Well You. And it really is to just encourage individuals to make their well-being a priority and to really love themselves, because when you invest in yourself, it shows in every sense, mind, body and soul. You know, it really is important to fill up your cup. And I think one of the biggest questions I would want to give to your platform is, you know, how do you fill up your cup? You know, what is it that you need on a day-to-day basis to ensure that you're nourishing your mind, body and soul? So that's the question that I would ask, and the guys can put their feedback in the comments there. What is in your cup? How do you fill up your cup? What is it that you need to nourish and love yourselves? Because what, you know, the reflection of what we're giving back to others is, if we don't love ourselves the way that we really need to, how are we going to get others to love us as well? So for me, you know, coming onto your platform and talking about empowering ourselves to love ourselves is so, so important. And I think we need to talk more about lifting ourselves up, elevating ourselves. And I know this is about queens, and, you know, us queens, we do so much for others, and we need to really start with ourselves and love ourselves. But it's also important for our kings. You know, thank you for sending through some of those answers. Yes, romance yourself. Healing vibrations, love that. It's important for our kings also to love themselves, and for us to show them how we love ourselves as well, because I think it's important, you know, especially if we are in partnerships or we're yearning to be in partnerships, you know, it's important that we show them how we want to truly be loved, and that we own what we're saying. We stand in our power and, you know, really show that's who we are and that's what we need. So as I said, you know, it's important to fill up your cup. And I run a monthly wellness IGTV series called What's in Your Cup. It's a wellness show where I get guests on who come and share their journey of their wellness and their self-care journey. And it really is a very uplifting series where hearing other people's stories is very empowering. And just having that platform to talk about, you know, self-care, self-love, how they nurture themselves. So I run that on a monthly basis. And I also wanted to give the queens a treat. So this is all about loving ourselves, filling up our cup, really nurturing ourselves. So I have one of my sister queens, Patsy Isles. She's in the audience. She is a sister queen to me, and we are going to be running a 3-day wellness retreat, something to fill up your cup in June. I'm going to put all the details in the chat, but this is something that we want to offer the Queens group. So Joan, this is my special treat that I mentioned to you last night. It's going to be a 3-day retreat in June in celebration of the summer solstice. So it's going to be the week after the summer solstice. It'll be Friday the 25th to Sunday the 27th of June. It's going to be 3 hours each day in the morning, a variation of self-care, nourishing, self-care rituals, so yoga, meditation, journaling, self-love activities. Each person will also be given tasks to do at the end of each day, ready for the next day. It's really about renewal and transformation. So in celebration of the summer solstice, and we're really excited about this. And we wanted to share this with the Queens group, and we want to offer the Queens group a discount code. So if you are interested in this 3-day wellness retreat, please register your interest by midnight tonight. Register your interest, and then you can benefit from the Queen code. So we would normally be running it for £90. We're going to be doing it for £70 for the Queens. I'm going to put all the details in the chat, and we'd really love to see you there. And, you know, an opportunity to fill up your cup, self-love, self-care, and that's what we want to offer to you. But today, I just wanted to say, I'm just honoured to be on the platform with you and your queens, talking about a very important topic of self-love, and we deserve it. So I just want to say thank you to Joan, and thank you to the guys on the platform, the other queens, amazing presentations. So that's me, Joan. So as I said, I want to offer the queens, everybody who's on the group tonight or today, a special treat from myself and Patsy Isles. Okay, and that's me.
Thank you so much for that, Lorna.
You're welcome.
Yeah, another powerful presentation, and you know, you spoke your truth. It's really about us as individuals finding the courage, and it does take courage to come out of that security of having, you know, the monthly paycheck.
Yes.
So you can do it, and it's just in a way unfortunate that it takes ill health for some of us to make that huge transition. You know, you have to wait before you start running down, you know, this therapy, that therapy. You know, if we can just kind of like do things. And a lot of the time, you know, we are getting the messages.
Yes.
You know, we're getting the messages, and we're seeing the signs and signals and wonders and ignoring them.
Oh,
yeah, and we really,
you're spot.
Yeah, and we need to be tapping in more in that. And I find as I've got older, you know, almost everything is a sign.
Yes, definitely.
It really is. You know, almost everything now is a sign. So, you know, well done you. And I think one of the messages that, you know, some of the queens can really take away from being on the platform this morning is be courageous. Yes. Be courageous. And we've found that being in this pandemic lockdown, the creativity that has manifested in individuals within our community and beyond. You know, we've got the bakers, the dressmakers, you know, yep. People, you know, painting, all sorts of things have been birthed out of just, like, Naomi was saying, being still. And
Yes.
sometimes being still is what it takes for you to just rise out of the ashes and
Totally.
just, live your truth. So absolutely amazing. And it's just so powerful, especially because you've all of you on the platform been on a journey. And it really is, it's almost like a journey into the light.
Yes, totally. And that's what it's been. And it takes a leap of faith, to walk in your purpose. It really does. And I'm glad I have. It's been challenging because, as you say, that monthly paycheck, I was so used to. I had a very high profile role in the corporate world. And that paycheck, I think I got too comfortable with the paycheck. So coming from, we all do. And then, but when you've got a real passion of something, you really want to help yourself to then help others, the paycheck doesn't come into it, because you can't put a price, you can't put a cost on, your
health.
Yes.
Yeah.
Health
and your emotional, physical, spiritual well-being. There isn't, it's process, isn't it? It's process.
My motto is self-care is healthcare.
Ah, beautiful. Thank you, my darling.
You're welcome. Thank you too.
Let you stick around for a quick Q&A.
I will.
We move on to our beautiful Natasha Hales. Natasha, aka, and she does tapping with Natasha, breakthrough coach. Tap your way in to find your way to emotional freedom, on a mission to show women how better emotional health and connection can aid overall health and well-being. Tash, when you came on the platform the last time you did the tapping, it was such a powerful session.
Thank you.
And Tash's message is, feel better, show up better, do better for yourself, for your family, and for your community. Natasha helps women experiencing invisible blocks become unblocked fast, so they can stop secretly struggling alone and achieve freedom and success. Tapping with Tasha, tap your way in and to find your way out of the thing blocking you from deeply and completely loving yourself. And this morning's session is all about queens loving ourselves, mind, body, and soul. Where are you, beautiful Natasha?
I'm right here. I am right here. I'm right here. And can I just say, Joan, I am so blessed that Yvonne made our paths cross, because I've done nothing but had just positive experiences since being on the Queen's Walking Group. And I'm blessed to see the other ladies on here today. And I was, I'm just like, Tiik just put me in a state of bliss. I said to Charlotte, like, I don't know if I can do the talk because I just want to meditate now. Do you know what I mean? I'm just so blessed. And then Naomi, the stretching, again, we all try these different things and we stop and we start. And what I think is so fantastic about today, the panel today, is that no one thing fits everybody. And so to have this platform, you can take a bit from here and there and you can find your unique thing. And for me, tapping was my unique thing. A lot of what the ladies of the panel today have spoken about has been my experience. I help women that I have, where I had the struggle, my invisible struggles. And I really think something, I don't know if you caught it in the group chat, Tiik mentioned about having this dark night of the soul, like a spiritual awakening. I don't know how that relates to, and I'd love to find out more, Maz, how that relates to mental health, because at periods of my life, I didn't know if I was going crazy or, because I was brought up believing that you shouldn't dabble in this and these different pieces. And, and I think you need to give yourself permission to explore and find the thing that works for you and to know yourself. So this platform today is just, it's so necessary. It's so absolutely needed. So I'll just, because I'm kind of new to this, promoting myself. I'm a child of the 70s. I was told to be quiet, and you know what I mean. So I'm not really I'm learning to speak my truth more, and that's what the tapping has done for me. So everybody,
Shine your light, shine your light, glow.
And I think it is, it's allowing yourself to find your thing. I think we are all here with a purpose, and I know that you read it and see it everywhere, but allow yourself to find it. When you find it, you know, and you start to love and accept yourself and all your little quirks, it's the freedom you're seeking, basically. Do you know what I mean? And every single word that's been said today is so true. We're stuck in our masculine, we're kept busy, we're not allowed to sit still. And so this 2020, when I thought I was breaking down again, it was my biggest breakthrough. I found tapping. And if you don't know what tapping is, it's a blend of Eastern medicine, using acupuncture points and talk therapy. So I've suffered with anxiety, and it's got increasingly worse over the years. But is it anxiety, or was it just my spiritual breakthrough? Was it the beginning of my spiritual breakthrough? Because now I've allowed myself to experience and ask more questions. It's and you know what, I believe we are divinely guided. Nelson touched on at the beginning, we're divinely guided. Whatever your belief is, we are guided, and the right people will come at the right time. So tapping, just to recap, it's talking therapy, and what you're doing is you're talking through on acupuncture points, and you're allowing yourself to feel safe in your body. For a lot of us, I feel that we don't, where we've had trauma in the past, we've had a lot of different experiences, we become, we don't trust our bodies as much. We don't trust our voices as much. And I think Tiik touched on the chakras. So everybody, you need to hook up with the ladies on here and figure out where your little bits and pieces are, because you're going to get this. Leslie, you're right. When the teacher is, when the student's ready, the teacher appears. Amen. So, as I say, tapping is it's something that you can talk and release your emotions and feelings, and it's something that brings you back into your body. When I was feeling anxious, I was always in my head. And I thought it was weak to say I need help. I thought it was weak to say that I can't manage or I'm struggling. And it was something I didn't identify with. So where I was having anxiety and maybe depression, I didn't identify with that, because like you said, Nez, it's got such a negative connotation. I didn't want to reach out. When the doctor said, oh, maybe try this pill, I was like, it says you may, it may cause suicide. So you're left spinning. So these sorts of environments are what are so necessary. So many people are out here like needing support and help. So for tapping, for me, I am a bit ADHD. I like things quick. I don't like long processes. I tried counselling. Again, like Maz, I had a Caucasian person, no disrespect, but they didn't honour my experience. I've tried CBT, and I thought, I'm educated, I understand this, it's not working for me. Tapping was the thing that I found that got me to feel safe in my body. It allowed the emotions to come up. I was able to do it on my own or with another tapping practitioner, to the point where I qualified in it last year. And it's actually just helped me acknowledge all of the different trauma in my life. And it's not like, that I've had a bad childhood or anything, but my mum was a single parent. The dynamics between our parents, I think, Tiik, you just taught me something here about that, where our spirits are gaining information from the moment we're conceived. That pregnancy might have been difficult. My pregnancies have been difficult. I've had miscarriages, and and I think somebody spoke in the chat about the fertility. It was left off. There were so many different things that we carry, and we don't have a safe place to release necessarily. So for me, tapping allows us to just tap in and release those. And when the thing is ready to be released, it gets released. So it's completely safe. So if you guys wouldn't mind, I don't know, trying it, I'd love to give you a quick show. So tapping's really simple. It's like Simon says, we don't have time to do a full demonstration, but essentially you give your body the space and time to just release what needs to be done. Nelson mentioned, you could put your hand on your heart, take a few deep breaths just to bring yourself back into your body, into your awareness. So if you want to take just 3 deep breaths just to bring yourself back into the moment. And if you're watching this on the replay, I like to set a candle, incense, just and create a nice environment, because this is your time. And you want to take a few deep breaths to come into your body, and you just want to forget what you were doing before, and not think about what you're going to be doing next, but allow yourself to be in this present moment. And I always like to use an affirmation. I'm going to do a really short one today. So I came across this yesterday, and I don't know in what context it was, but it just made me feel like, oh yeah, this is how we need to see ourselves in terms of loving ourselves. So the affirmation that I wanted to tap on today was, a lover doesn't discourage you from your growth. A lover says to you, I see who you are today, and I cannot wait to see who you'll be tomorrow. And for a lot of us, I think we put the things off that we should be doing for another day, when we should be doing those things right now, living in the present moment. So with tapping, you normally start off by stating negative, and that sometimes puts people off, but it just allows you to acknowledge not everything is great. So we might start off by tapping the side of our hand and saying that even though there may have been times when we haven't treated ourselves with love and respect, that's okay, because we completely love and accept ourselves. Even though we may have ignored the signs, as we've been told today, that our bodies need time to slow down, that we need to honour ourselves more, that's okay, because we were doing the best that we could at the time. And now we choose to love and completely accept ourselves. Maybe the timing wasn't right before, but now the time is right. And for that, we accept and honour ourselves. And then to the top of the head, like Simon says, I release any tension and resistance in my body. Top of your eye, I'm willing to allow and see things differently now. Side of your eye, I am allowing myself to feel celebrated. Under the eye, I allow myself to feel abundant. Under your nose, I'm allowing myself to feel wealthy without the guilt. Under the mouth, I'm allowing myself to feel gifts. I'm allowing myself, collarbone point. I'm allowing myself to lead. Under your arm, which is where your bra strap is, I am allowing myself to make mistakes and recover from them. Under your chest, at the end of your bra, I am allowing myself to heal and to be healed. Wrist point, I am allowing myself to take opportunities such as these events. Top of my head, or your head, I allow all parts of myself to come forward to meet me and to share their knowledge and lessons, so we become whole. Top of your eye, I choose me over and over again. Side of your eye, I am loving the person that I am becoming. I am healthy, I am wealthy, I am wise. Under the nose, I allow myself and feel safe to love myself as a complete being, independent of anybody else. And if you stop there and take a deep breath. I think that would be the last round. So what we would do before is we would tap out any resistance to create an empty vessel to put in positive. So it's the mixture of taking out the old baggage, as we've spoken about before with the ladies, and putting in the positive affirmations. Tapping is something you can do anywhere, anytime, on your own, or with a coach like myself, and be guided. So I would encourage you ladies, because we're all on a journey, as Joan has said, wherever you are, use us as resources. Every woman here has got a gift to share. We've all got a different story. My story might resonate with you more than somebody else's or somebody else's, but we're all here to guide and teach each other. So to reach out, experience, try the tapping, try the sound bowl, try the yoga, try the meditation, try them all. definitely get out more in nature and definitely move. And I look forward to seeing you ladies again, either on the retreat with Nelson or on with the retreat with Lorna, or in another sound room with Tiik, or Maz and the Naomi, the stretching. I'm going to tap into all of these because I don't know what my perfect mix is yet. I know that tapping has been the thing that's taken me from feeling depressed and not wanting to wake up, not wanting to ask for more with my relationship, not wanting to ask for more with my husband and my children. And, you know, when it came back to going back to the office, putting my foot down and saying, I don't feel comfortable, and you know, speaking my truth, releasing my throat chakra, and just being willing to learn more and do more. So for me, it's been an absolute gift. And one of the things, as I say, is I want to empower more women to find their voices and find the things that work for them, so that we can be free. When we free ourselves, we allow others to be free. And I think more than ever, with the whole world as it is now, it's begging for it, dying for it. So yeah. So thank you very much for having me. My name's Tasha. Tapping with Tasha. I'm on Instagram. My website is the same, Tapping with Tasha. I am expanding. I'm gradually making that transition and just following my passion. It's not easy, but with tapping, I'm prepared to do it. So yes, look out for more. This year is going to be an interesting year of growth, and I'm willing with the tapping to experience any difficulties that come, because I know that I'm being guided and I'm being the right people, showing the right people, as you will too, when you decide to make that shift and you decide and it happens. The universe supports you, God supports you. So yeah, so thank you everybody for your time.
Oh, bless you. Tapping with Tasha, powerful. Just that little, you know, small introductory session. You can feel the vibrations, and we all need to find something. Yeah, it doesn't have to be, you know, it could be tapping, like you said, you know, doing the yoga, meditation. There are a wealth of interventions, which is what I will call them, that individuals can, you know, become engaged with. So this morning we've been able to give you a taster. There is going to be a part 2 of this coming up in a few weeks, even though I am looking at like slowly coming off the platform, because we've got outdoor events coming up. So yeah, this has been a really, you know, I'm going to go into the rest of today now just feeling so enlightened, so powerful. It's, you know, spiritual upliftment. What a way to start a Saturday morning. Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. You know, thank all of you as presenters and practitioners again. And like I said before, I am so glad this particular session has been recorded, because there are going to be, you know, kings and queens that will tap into this long after this goes up onto YouTube. And it's always about spreading the message, spreading the love. You know, and that's when I was thinking about the concept for this session, it really starts with us as individuals, you know, really basic stuff. We've got to kind of like, in a way, fix ourselves before we can, in a way, look at fixing others and healing others. So, you know, this power, the power that's on this platform this morning is so phenomenal, astronomical, amazing. Bless you all. We've got Tash Trent, who's coming up in a bit, he's going to do a poem, but we'll do that before we close the session. So I've got my fantastic co-host there in the background, Rudy James. He's doing all the techie stuff. Thanks, Rudy. He hasn't muted anybody today. You've all been on point. Normally it's just silence and the lips are moving, but you've all been wonderful. You've all stuck to time. And, you know, as I say, it's been a really, really brilliant session this morning. So what I would like to do is, as I said before, you know, we've got people joining all the time. So we are the Queen's Walking Group based in Southeast London. Anybody who wants to come on future Zoom events that are going to be coming up, we've got a few more before we kind of like exit off the platform. Please follow us on Eventbrite so you get the instant notifications of future Zoom sessions coming up. Yeah, that's a key. That's a must. We've got a WhatsApp group as well going now. So if anybody wants to join the WhatsApp group, and you will not be bombarded with constant messages, it will just be messages to do with the walking group and any future events that we're going to be putting on. Please, there's also the YouTube channel. Yes, all our past recordings have been uploaded onto the YouTube channel. Queen's 2020 Lockdown Series. You'll find all the recordings there for all the sessions that we've done. And we've had some phenomenal speakers come on the platform, share their knowledge with us. So yeah, please tap into that. Please, you know, like, subscribe, comment, share. The support is so much appreciated. Thank you all. So what I normally like to do at the end of these sessions, and we're doing really quite well for time today, if anybody would like to come on the platform to ask a question, all that we ask is to please have your camera on, because we don't like talking to a black screen. So you can come onto the platform, just say where you're from, because we always like to know where our guests are when they come onto the platform. And we'd be happy to take some questions if you put your hand up in the chat, so we can do this in an orderly manner. So does anybody want to ask a question to any of our speakers, any of our practitioners that have been on the platform this morning? So if you could put your hand up in the chat, that would be fantastic. Thank you. Anybody going to ask any questions? Let's have a look. Well, if we don't get any hands up, I am going to close the session down with our wonderful Tash Trent, our poet. So, any guests on the platform? Would anybody like to ask a question? It's a fantastic opportunity. Yeah. And if our presenters and practitioners could please put their contact details into the chat. I know you can save the chat if you're on a laptop. You won't be able to do that if you're on a mobile phone. So just be wary of that. Ah, we have somebody. Let's see. Eden Rose, hello, good morning. Welcome to the Queen's Lockdown Series. Queen's
Hi, good morning.
Hello, where are you? Let me see if I can see you.
I'm in Harrow and Wiltshire.
You're in Harrow?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't see you. Ah, yes, I can see you now. Hi, so Harrow, welcome. So you've got a question. What would you like to ask, my darling?
Well, it was just a quick question, and it was for the lady who did the yoga stuff. I didn't have any of her details, and I really was interested in that.
Right,
I just jumped on late.
Yeah, she'll put it in the chat. So do you have a question, my darling?
No, that was it really, because I'm on a phone at the moment, so that was it.
All right, okay. All right, thank you for that, my darling. Does anybody else want to raise their hand? Does anybody else have a question for any of the presenters, guests on the platform? This is a brilliant opportunity. Right, Marcia, hello, good morning. Welcome to the platform.
Hi, yeah, is it, let me see, Lorna talked about her 3-day retreat. Is this online or is it
Where are you? I can't see you. Where are you? You got your camera on? Where are you calling in from?
Yeah, we could see you, Marcia. We could see you. Continue.
Yeah, I'm zooming in from Hitchin in Hertfordshire.
Oh wow.
So Lorna, you talked about the 3-day retreat. Is it online? Is it an online session or is it a?
Good morning. Good morning, Mark. Yes, that's what I forgot to say. It is a 3-day online session.
Okay.
So if you're interested, please register your interest. My details are in there. The email to send. Register your interest tonight, and we'll send you more details. But yes, it's online. Obviously, we're just coming out of this lockdown, so you know, not everybody is comfortable at this present moment in being in you know, amongst other people. So we're doing an online retreat at this present moment.
Okay, all right, that's all I wanted to know. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, loving the hair, Marcia. Very, very nice, very nice. You're really loving yourself, Queen. Oh, lovely. Right, we've got Marva. You've got your hand up. So where are you, my darling? And what would you, as I say, if you come on the platform, please say who you are, where you're coming in from, and ask your question. Are you still there, Marva? Can you unmute yourself?
Marva, just unmute yourself, please.
There you go. Good morning, Queens. Hey, how are you? I've just loved this morning. I've loved it. And I'm one of the older ones. So, you know, I'm just thinking that there's so much that we've learned on this platform today and other times that I've been on, that our elders as well, who's had all this trauma from way back when, you know, how are we helping them to actually recognize the trauma as well that they've been through? And also our youngsters, who, as we can see, are suffering severely, shall we say, on the street and with the police stopping them, and all of, you know, the self-doubt and lack of love for themselves that they have. How can we help them, the elders and the youngsters over 21?
Right, I think, Maz, is that something you could pick up?
Sorry, I could. Does anyone else want to just jump in? Because I'm sure we could all.
Oh, yes, everybody can contribute.
Yeah.
Of course.
I can see Tiik wants to say.
Anybody jump in?
Hi, I don't know if am I unmuted? Okay, beautiful.
No, yeah, we can hear you, darling.
Okay, excellent. So from a beautiful soul, thank you for that. Because I do something called Theta Healing, which is supporting people to unblock limiting belief systems. And I have clients that range from, well, I have kids, and then I have clients that range into older years, like 70 plus. And I think on an energy journey, whenever you realize that you are seeing patterns in your life and you want to begin to shift them, what I start having clients do is a bit what the beautiful Queen of Self-Love was talking about, is tapping into that mirror work as well with affirmations. But it's important to understand about the subconscious mind and the conscious mind. So consciously, it's like you're saying that you don't want to eat chocolate anymore, but then somehow you find yourself still eating chocolate. So obviously deep down in the subconscious, there is something that's driving that. And usually it's those experiences that we've had from life. So what you may have learned or absorbed as a child, you know, the environmental stressors I was speaking about, etc. To break those things down, even on an energetic level, for me, I always say you have to do all three. And that's why all the women on this platform is very important to tap into collectively, because you have the body, you have the mind, you have the soul. And it's not just one lane or another. It's working with all three. So even in the therapy, I know I do energy, but I also, along my journey, I had to tap into all three. And that's what I encourage people to do when you're working with belief systems. So you might have to do something physical, like what Naomi does, doing the yoga stretching postures, because even releasing that tension will let go things in the body. Then you have the affirmation or mindset work that will tap into your subconscious to help alleviate some of those thoughts that you may have. For example, being told that you're not enough. And as a culture and as a people, that sort of limiting belief has been there, and it attracts other situations in our life to keep us going. So it's something reversing that statement to say, I am powerful, I am strong, and doing that maybe a mirror work, as we were talking about a bit earlier, that will support alleviating that belief system. But it is to transform, people have to show up. I always say, you know, you have your practitioner, and your practitioner shouldn't stand behind you and shouldn't stand in front of you, because nobody needs to be held up, or no one needs to be drugged, but stand right there with you on your journey. Because when you're transforming, you know, it can be intense, but once, like Ayana Vignette says, you know, you get through the hurt to get through the love, and that's what you're doing on your elevation journey. So it is something, when you decide to really tap into your own self-care and elevation, that you're saying, and I believe another beautiful says that on there, it's a lifestyle choice. And I put in there, it's a ritual. Just like you brush your teeth, you're waking up each day, and then you are setting the tone before you even open those big beautiful eyes of yours, and then you having that moment of gratitude and starting to visualize how you would like that to be. What you're doing on a natural level is creating that mindfulness, and then you'll begin to start energetically attracting those things, and you can build on that as you go. So it's a lot to get in there, but I just wanted to kind of share a few other things that can be done in that way. Hopefully that kind of answered your question a little bit.
Thank you. Does anybody else want to jump in and add to that?
I was going to say, I'm still getting started, but that's definitely something I would like to do more of. So if there's anybody that would like to talk about collaborating, or they could introduce me to people where we could have some group sessions, then I'd be happy to do that, because it is something that everybody needs, but they've got to be ready. As Tiik says, that person has to be ready, because you can't do it for them. And it can be quite challenging. I know when I first started doing my tapping, I didn't want to acknowledge some of the pain that I was feeling, and I didn't want to acknowledge the person I actually was. So it was a lot of self-awareness work. And you've got to be ready to do the hard work of, challenging your beliefs, challenging your behaviors, and knowing that, yes, there is something, everything we do is driven for a positive intent, or to gain something or to avoid something. And a lot of our negative behaviors are, habitual, and they take time, and it changes your identity sometimes to change it. I would have never thought I'd be a walker. I drive everywhere, but walking has changed my identity. I see myself as a walker. I choose my food, because somebody who walks wouldn't drink and smoke. It's not, they don't go hand in hand. It's not aligned. So I agree there's more work to be done, and I'm open to collaborating and being put in touch with resources to facilitate that, because I do tap in with my children. One of my sons is on the spectrum, and we did that before he did his CBT test, and he passed. I can't say it was all the tapping, but I know it helped to bring his anxiety down, and he knew that he'd done the work to get him to the next point. So all he had to do was trust himself to just remember what he knew. And I think it is, I'm speaking to other educators, that there are a lot of children out there that could do with these resources, but it's how do we, I don't know how to at the minute, but that's something I would love to do. So thank you, Marvia, for the question and the feedback. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Rudy, can I get you to unmute Nelsa for us, please, our presenter? She can't unmute.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else want to? I know Nelson wants to probably respond to this. We're just going to try to unmute it. Does anybody else want to come in? We've got 4 people who would like to ask questions. Have you found her?
Yeah, unmute.
Right, okay.
Oh.
You're muted now, darling.
Hello. So I really wanted to jump in there.
Oh, we can't hear you.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Oh, you're back. You're back now. Yes.
Yeah, I really wanted to jump in quickly with to answer the question. Our elders, that need this healing, and are dealing with trauma experiences. I have a mother, for example, who doesn't want to talk about her past. However, because I'm a coach, she knows when I'm trying to coach her as to when I'm having a conversation with her. Same as with my daughter, who's 18. So what I do is I lead by example. So I invite her to events that I go to. I invite her to events such as this, because they don't know. And what they don't know how to apply. So one of the things that I do that I've realized when I've written a lot of my poems in my book, they are about generational curses that I've broken, chains that I've broken. It's almost like I'm writing about the pain that my mum had when she had me. There's a poem in it which is called A Diamond is Born. My mum was domestically abused by my dad, and she won't talk about the actual situation, but I wrote it in a poem as though I'd felt her pain. When she listens to my poem, she cries and she hugs me. And what I've done, and what we can do, even if you're not a coach, is that you can sit down with your mum or your younger daughter and have a conversation and ask them about your past, and then say things like, how has your past contributed to the person that you are and how you deal with things now? And when you ask that question, a person would be like, okay, no one's ever asked me that question. How has it? For example, my mum has been an independent and single mother because of lack of trust. And because of that, she continues to repeat those same patterns, whether it's a relationship or friends that take from her and don't trust her. So now she's learned, but it took a very long time to learn. So one thing that I'd like you guys to take away is lead by example. If you're attending these events, invite your mum, invite your daughter, If you are doing something that works for you, something like self-love, going out in nature, take your mum for a walk with you and use that time to talk, because when you're out in nature, you actually open up. And then things like, they like to write. My mum likes to write. I said to my mum, you know, write a letter of what you would like to say to your younger self, or like write a letter of what you'd really like to do and things that you'd like. And my mum's like, okay, I never thought of that. So it's just sharing little things that we learn on platforms like this, because they're not open right now to what they don't know. But once they know, you'll be amazed. I had a client who's 57 years old, had 9 children, came to me, and I do an online course called How to Stop Being Everything to Everyone and Be at Peace with Yourself. And she didn't know herself after she'd raised all of her children, but she wanted to open up a space for homeless people to stay and have shelter overnight, give them direction as to what they needed to go next, just provide like a 24-hour respite. She managed to paint a whole garage. She did all of that, and now she's created her business from home. Wow. So it's never too late to start. So that's all I wanted to share.
Wow, powerful, powerful. I'm watching the time, so I'm gonna bring in another guest on the platform who'd like to ask a question. So you've come up as Deirdre N. So Deirdre, if you could put your camera on, my darling, and let us know where you're coming in from.
Oh, hi, can you hear me?
I can hear you, I can't see you.
Hello, hi, good morning. My name is Deirdre and I am from Southeast London.
Welcome.
Yes, I work full-time as a teacher, but I have recently, since I started self-caring more and loving myself and trying to find my purpose, I've started to develop my own natural skincare line, and I'm really into essential oils. And I'm trying to reach out and impact and encourage well-being, but I just don't feel like I'm impacting enough. Like, how do I go about that? I'm not sure who is best to aim this question at, but I just, you know, I'm just not sure. Any ideas, any suggestion, please?
Would anybody like to jump in and respond to that?
Hello?
Yes.
Hi.
Hi, Deirdre. Congratulations. I think,
thank you.
From my experience, you just need to decide, and you need to set out one day at a time, just going forward, telling people what you do, inviting them to test and share your product. Obviously, you've got to do social media, and then get on platforms like this, what you're doing now. There's 135 people that just now know what you do. It's doing these little baby steps and looking for ways to collaborate and connect with other women who are looking for what you're doing. I think that's the way. And I think one of the problems I have a short attention span. I like things to happen now. It's not going to happen now. It's going to take lots of little conversations, people to give you testimonials, and connecting and solving people's problems, sharing your story. And I think that will set you in good stead. Talking to people.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Natasha.
Because we all want to help each other, right? Everybody on this phone call, we're here to better ourselves and do better others. So if I might not need it, I might have a sister with something, a skincare issue that I could refer you to. So yeah. So thank you for coming up and sharing. In the group.
Lovely. Thank you. Thank you.
Not with you.
Right, I'm going to move on to the next question. Got Christine Nanton. If you'd like to unmute yourself, put your camera on so we can see who we're speaking to.
Morning! My camera's on. Can you see me?
I can't see you yet. Hold on.
Yeah, we can see you, Christine.
Hey, morning!
Good morning.
Joan, thank you. I just want to say thank you. Thank you for another really good session this morning. And thank you to all your presenters and everything. And I know your platform's streamed over across the world, I think, is it not?
Well, it's on Facebook Live, so that's just as good.
Right. So really, I'm just using your platform to say my heart goes out to all the Vincentians out there. I'm a Vincentian myself, and all my family are in Georgetown, Sandy Bay, Oya. And I just want to say I'm thinking about all of you all of the time. So thank you for allowing me to do that. Well, I kind of stuck in there with that.
You know something, I mean, myself and my business partner, Rudy, we've had a discussion about this, and we are going to be pulling something together and sending some stuff out there from.
Yeah. I hear this morning that there's some pickups on the 21st of April. And for me, luckily, there's one in Luton, so I'm going to be doing some dropping off myself. But yeah.
You're based?
Good. Sorry?
Are you based in Luton?
Yes, that's where I am, in Luton. But I think before there wasn't any pickups in Luton, they were in High Wycombe. Right. But there's one in Luton and now, so I'll be dropping off as well. But I just wanted to sort of like let everybody, all of my Vincentians, know that I'm thinking about them, and that this tragic event that's happened. So, but thank you for your presenters, they were really good. As usual.
All I can say, you know, we are one, no matter where we come from in the world, we are one. I'm Jamaican parentage, my business partner is Grenadian background, but we are one. And, you know, as I said, we are going to be pulling something together. We're just looking for someone who's going to be able to pick up, we can give the stuff to, you know, because we all want to help. You know, this is a natural disaster. And when you see what's going on, we're watching stuff on Facebook. I'm getting loads of WhatsApp messages, and you know something, the whole community, you know, Black community and beyond, they've come out. And if you see the amount of stuff, it's really about now getting it out there, because the people are in desperate need, and getting the right stuff out there. So you're on mute now. We can't hear you.
If you go on to Lorraine Parkinson, quite often comes onto your show, and she's got on Facebook, she's called Black Community Centre or something. But if you look up Lorraine,
I know Lorraine.
Yeah, and she's got a list of places, and I think there are a few London places as well where you can drop off. Yeah,
but the problem is now, because they've been so inundated with stuff now, they can't take any more stuff. That's the problem now. So we're going to be looking at that, but we're actually in the process of planning something now, which we're going to send from the Queens out there. So thank you for that. We really, really appreciate you. God bless you, my darling. Right, we've got a few more questions. Patsy Owls, beautiful Patsy, where are you, my darling? If you can unmute yourself, put your camera on so we can see you, and yes, Patsy, let me ask to you should be unmuted.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Hi,
yeah,
I'm just
you, darling.
Go off. Oh, hi, here I am. Thank you, Joan, and thank you, Noosa, Spiritual Tiik, Naomi, Lorna, and Natasha. This morning has been absolutely fantastic. I tell you, I feel so enriched, and this week I've really needed to feel enriched. So thank you so much, Queens, for sharing your wisdom, sharing your love. It's been fantastic. My question actually is for Naomi. And Naomi, you mentioned epigenetics, and I just wondered whether you could tell us a little bit more about it. I know you probably didn't have time to go into it in a lot of detail because of kind of timings and stuff, but I'm just really interested to hear a little bit more about what it is.
Yes, no problem. Thank you for asking. So epigenetics is that field of study which shows that your environment can play either a positive or detrimental effect on your genes. Your environment can literally mutate your genes. So if you're living in a stressful kind of traumatic place, as we are as Black people, where we're constantly under a lot of trauma, microaggressions, racism, and all of these things, whether it's directly experienced, secondary, so even hearing about our deaths and things of our cousins in America will have a detrimental effect. It can mutate our genes. So over time, from an intergenerational point of view with trauma, your parents' genes will be modified, and then that will lead on to their offspring's genes becoming more modified as well. So things such as, like the diabetes, yes, they're kind of linked to our environment. So it kind of, because I'm trying to do it in a little bite size, but basically what it's saying is that your environment can mutate or change your gene structure, and to a detriment to our health. It's really important because what it shows is where we're living, the experiences. So before we used to think of, like you know, just as things being passed down. We didn't really see the role of the environment influencing our genes at that level, but it can do. But likewise, on the positive side, it also means that being in the right environment can also have a positive effect, again, helping us or supporting our health. But again, it comes through a kind of a long process. But yes, basically it's the environment impacting our genes, but quite negatively. And where I'm trying to link it with Black women and poor health outcomes is I'm relating to the trauma that we see with fibroids and other issues in the womb, and Black men with prostate cancer. So that's where I'm trying to look at the link between, you know, the trauma that we've experienced from our ancestors that hasn't been dealt with or healed, that manifests itself. And I think it's quite notable that it's in those areas of our creative space, women, our womb, and men, their prostate cancer. So I think, yeah, there's the triggerings. So our environment can trigger it. So yeah.
Oh, thank you, Naomi. That's brilliant. I'm looking for you for your box fit class, let me tell you.
Oh yes, it's fun, and we've got it online. Hopefully we'll be outside, but yeah, no, please, it's a really good way just to de-stress and to let go. So like I said, whichever one you're using, whether it's a fast pace or a slow pace, it is about releasing and just being mindful of that environment that we're living in. So even just with our lifestyle, I think I went down to South, I'm North Wheezy, North Wheezy, but I went down to Dirty South, and I think it was Stretton that I went to, and I tried to find, I think it was a health food shop, could not find one. I found loads of, you know, like chicken and chip shops. So again, it's, you know, like the places that we're living, we just have to be mindful, pollution and the way that they're impacting our health and well-being. So yeah.
Lovely, thank you. And Christine, could you put the Luton drop-off point in the chat for me, please? Because I'm in Luton as well, and we've been looking for a drop-off point in Luton. So you're on mute, sorry.
I don't know what's happening with the mute, but the main thing is, can you put the information in the chat, Christine? Yeah. Thank you. Wonderful. I've got one more question. Hebrew Queen. Good morning, my darling. So you put your camera on and ask your question and say where you're coming in from. Can you unmute yourself, Hebrew Queen? Can you see Hebrew Queen, Rudy?
Thank you. Good morning, everyone.
Hi. Good morning. Good morning.
Oh,
Hi,
hello. Good morning.
Can you all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now. We can see you. Hello. Welcome to the platform. Where are you coming in from, my queen?
Hi, I'm calling from Nottingham, in the middle of the country.
Okay. Wow.
Thank you
from
for
UK, the Queens.
Yeah. It's been amazing. Can't emphasize, amazing session. I think I tried to jump on last week. No, it's just absolutely amazing. I work with people with addiction in the BAME community. I'm an NLP coach. I'm so much doing a lot of research around tapping, around well-being, working with various amounts of women. But I wanted to just say, every one of the speakers, I came on an hour later, but I posted out the platform out there to other women in my WhatsApp group and contacts. And I know a few people, and then my sister Naila, beautiful woman, very talented, is on the platform. But I wanted to just encourage the sister who was asking about, was it Daya, who asked about the skincare. She wanted some help about how did she get her, how can she help with getting her product out there. Yeah, can you hear me? I can't hear myself.
I can hear you. It's okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Dan.
Okay. Yeah. But I just wanted to say that, I mean, I'm very much into networking. I'm coming from an educational background, but I just wanted to encourage the lady who wanted to help about her skincare. There's some great marketing platforms out there on YouTube, particularly sisters as well of color. There's a lady called Danielle Leslie, that is also helping women to put their products themselves on the platform. She does a lot of online coursing, but she helps to market yourself, your product. And then another amazing local lady, her name is Laura Lills. Have a look at their YouTube and go and just do your research within these platforms, because they do help you in terms of your vision, marketing, etc. But see how much you want to invest in yourself, in your product, because it is a platform of learning. It is also a platform of sharing. But just, you know, be aware of how far you want to go with your marketing, and really set your vision. Do your research, because, you know, like one of the ladies said, you've got 120, and it was 150 earlier, of women here on the platform. So you've got a great platform here already. So it's just doing your marketing and just being confident and putting out the vibrations out there. You will get back abundance of what you're seeking. But I just want to say to everyone, just amazing share. You know, that I'm just overwhelmed, and it's just started my day off so amazingly. So just thank you all. Jane, thank you for a brilliant platform. Unfortunately, I'm in the north. Doesn't stop me from joining your platform, but the walking, talking session sounds awesome. And I have to probably start one here in Nottingham.
Well, let's connect, because I'm looking for queens to start up walking groups in their area, because everybody can't be in London. Yeah, so, you know, please contact me. My details are in the chat. If you want to start a walking group under the Queen's Walking Group umbrella, please hook me up and let's do it. Because we're really very much about getting our community active and healthy. Right, any more questions? Naomi D and Naomi and Nelsie, you've got your hands up. Is that on purpose?
Yes, it is. I just wanted to say thank you to the last lady who spoke, and I wanted to address Deirdre as well. And I've just got this quote in my head as soon as you said, how can I get my products out there? And the quote is by Gandhi, which is, be the change you wish to see. Lead by example. So when I started to heal myself and I started to do my dance and yoga, even though I wasn't a yoga teacher, and I'm not, I just posted my videos anyway. Don't think about perfection. Don't think about, you know, what are people going to say? You want to build your audience. So I would say, if you're in Instagram or Facebook, just start filming videos of you using your actual products, and that's it. And say what is done for you. And that's a very, very simple way for you to start. Just lead by example. People buy because they're going to see and trust you. If they see that you're using something on yourself, they'll be like, okay, if it's good for her, then it's good for me. So just make it very simple.
Yeah, sorry, and mine is also to Deirdre, because I wanted to actually touch on it. But Deirdre, mine advice is probably going to be slightly different, and you probably may not appreciate mine as much. But mine is to say, actually, sometimes, again, it's when I was talking about that yin and yang of energy, you can be doing, and you're not seeing the results. And so I was actually going to say, sometimes tapping into the feminine side of just being still, doing nothing. And even though you're like, no, especially if you're, you know, you've got a business and you're trying to launch, you try and push through the forces, run in the water, but actually just being still, connecting with your source, connecting sometimes can give you the answers of what you need to do next. Nothing happens before it's time. It doesn't matter how many books, it doesn't matter what course you go on, what thing on the Instagram, you could just do something just you wasn't expecting and it blows up. So what I'm just saying is that actually the spirit and the universe is much bigger and greater than all the doing that you might do with your feet. So it's just about just connecting, taking that moment, because sometimes when you're not on purpose or not in alignment, you could be slightly off. Sometimes you just have to come back with stillness and think, actually, there's something in there, but with the doing, you just can't get there. So just slowing down and just reconnecting to what it is. Sometimes it's your why. Because the doing and the masculine energy is about the how, the what, and pushing, but actually the why, resonating back to the source. Why is it that I wanted to do the skincare? What is it about that? And actually vibrating from that energy may take you a lot more forward. So, yes.
Oh, thank you for that. Thank you for that. Powerful, powerful. I'm going to thank all of my presenters. You have been, oh my goodness, queens, you rocked this morning. Absolutely rocked. Power, you were on point. Yeah, one of my favorite sessions, because it's about us, loving ourselves. Yeah. And guests on the platform, you have had a full 360, a holistic approach, which is what we have to take when it comes to loving ourselves. I'm going to ask each of the presenters, practitioners, to leave a parting message before we move into our final segment of a beautiful poem. Yeah. So, Nelsa, my darling, what is your parting message to guests on the platform? Yeah, I've asked to unmute you.
Thank you. So my passing message really is, as Naomi said, be still and know that you've got the message inside you. Be still and ask, what is my next step? And ask yourself, just like you do in prayer, ask yourself, what do I really, really want? What is my next step? What am I not giving to myself that I'm giving to others? Why do I feel exhausted? Why, ask yourself those questions. And then once you ask the why, how? Make sure you ask for the how. Don't complain, oh, my life is like this is not going well. No, just ask yourself why and how. What is my next step that will get me to feeling amazing, to loving myself, to putting myself first, to being that queen that I'm worthy of that title? What is going to make me step into that? So as I said, the last quote is, to embrace your flaws is a skill. To love yourself is the magic pill. You are imperfectly perfect as you. There is no one else like you. Just keep shining, my queen. And that's me. Sending love and light to you all.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you so much for that. Beautiful. Tiik, Spiritual Tiik, what is your parting message to the kings and queens on the platform this morning?
To all the beautiful souls on this platform, my message for you to hold tight is remembering that the only moment that you have is the moment that you are in. And if you live your life in this moment, like you are in this call, at this moment, at 11:07 a.m., filling yourself up with joy, the thing that you have control over is how you're going to feel in the next moment. We can't go back in time, although we can spiritually, but that's another conversation. But we can't go to tomorrow and fix everything in tomorrow, but you can hold and power today. And you can choose in this moment that, you know what, these vibrations were good. I felt some things, I learned some things that I'm going to channel into myself for my own self-care. And then you take those things and you stand in power in the moment and let that take you to your next moment. And I guarantee you'll start to see things shift and move in your environment, because then you're creating your own bubble of mindfulness. So that's what I want to leave you beautifuls with.
Thank you. Thank you, beautiful Tiik. Wonderful. Maz, my darling.
Yeah. Hi there. Essentially, just really reinforcing the message that no one should suffer in silence. Please don't. And, essentially, don't let guilt, shame, and all those other things stop you from seeking the help that you deserve. What was it? I had something really profound to say, but essentially the message is just that, please do not suffer in silence. Reach out. Thank you.
Oh, God bless you. Thank you for that powerful message. Beautiful. Lorna? Oh no, I've skipped someone. Naomi. You're going over. Naomi, my darling.
So my parting message is to be and practice more self-compassion. I think as people, we have a lot of things against us and we're a lot harder on ourselves than we should be, whether it's down to the way that society puts pressure, our family, our culture, our race, our colour. It's to be more self-compassionate with all of the things that you're doing, forgiving yourself, knowing that you're not perfect. And when you are more self-compassionate, you can be more compassionate with others. So really practicing it and forgiving, allowing yourself to make mistakes, allowing yourself. Don't worry about who's going to chat you. They're going to chat you with or regardless of what you're doing. So it's about just knowing, actually, I'm going to learn from my mistakes, my failures, to become better and the better version of myself. So yeah.
Oh, beautiful. The power is within all of us. We just need to embrace it. Thank you, my queen. Lorna, my darling, what is your parting message to guests on the platform?
Okay, my parting message. I've just got three essential points that I just want to sort of reiterate. Ask yourself, what do I need to fill up my cup? So each day, really ask yourself, what do you need? The second point is walk in your purpose and your power. You've got it within you. The love you have for yourself will enable you to walk in your purpose and your power. And my last point is always be your authentic self. Sending everybody love and light.
God bless you. That's beautiful. Thank you for that. Tash?
Oh gosh, there's just so much I want to say, but I think everybody's just given such words of wisdom. Depending on where you're starting from, because it can be different, but it's that, well, for me, it's always, you know, what you're seeking is seeking you. Never forget that, from Rumi. Tap your way in, because you are the answer to find your way out. And wherever you are on your journey, I think, you know, I love and completely accept myself, and I'm truly beginning to accept any part of me that's out of alignment, and I am willing to see myself in a new way. And I'm open and I'm curious. Like today, everybody's been open and showed up curious, and we've made some magic here today. So what you are seeking, God honestly is seeking you. So it is out there, and we're here to help you. Yeah. So love and light to everyone.
Oh.
I'm getting emotional. Oh my God.
And in actual fact, it's like I knew the platform would be like that, because when you start talking about self-love and digging deep, you know, and it really is about us. I mean, we do this platform, we've been Zooming since last November, and it's just about us wrapping our arms around our community on a number of different subjects. You know, we've got to be really especially now more than ever, loving each other, caring for each other. It's key. You know, I had a conversation with somebody yesterday, you know, I go from, not even, I'm a walker, so I run the Queen's Walking Group. I'm Queen of Queens, that's what I'm known as. And, you know, you're walking and you say morning to people, they look as if you're gonna trouble them. No, we should now, as a community, you're out walking or whatever you're doing, stop and say hello to your brother or your sister. Say morning, good evening, good night. Yeah, just show that love, because what you put out there is gonna come back to you triple-fold. Yeah, so we have got to be a more loving, a more caring, a more nurturing society. Have to be, especially in these times. Have to be. So before I end our session today, we've got the wonderful Tash Trent, poet and the brains behind Fish, Food, Inspiration to Succeed and Harvest. So are you there on the platform, my beautiful Trish? Tash, where do I get Trish from?
I am. I am.
Ah, my darling, welcome. You're looking
Thank you.
This morning. Wow.
Oh, thanks, Joan. Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name's Natasha, and as Joan said, I've got a business called Fish, which is a poetry business. So this month is poetry, National Poetry Month. And it's also Stress Awareness Month. So this is well timed. Fish stands for Food, Inspiration to Succeed and Harvest. So the food is, metaphorically speaking, the poetry, and to inspire and succeed and harvest what you want in life. So there's 3 streams to the business. Spoken word. So I do spoken word for events. So do bear me in mind if you know you're at work and they need someone to they need a poet. They normally do have budget for stuff like that. And I also do poetry workshops, and I also have a gift shop where I do personalized poetry, and that's called Fish Messages, because I give out messages with the poetry. So I'm going to be, I'll share a link in the chat. You can subscribe to my mailing list to keep up with what I'm doing and receive 10% off if you choose to, if you have an occasion that you want to get some personalized poetry. And yeah, you can also follow me at Fish Messages on Instagram. So I'll post the link in the chat. And oh.
Yeah, I think he's going to mute you because of the time, darling.
Okay, right. So the poem is called Mind Workout. Okay. What do you feel in this moment? Take a moment to recognize your thoughts. Walk up to them in the moment like you would a long lost friend, and take a moment to catch up. Now stay right there next to your self-esteem and give it a hug. It's been days since you told it how great it is. Do you remember that time you felt on top of the world? You could see Mount Everest in your periphery. You could see Mount Everest in your periphery. You could see Mount Everest in your periphery, like you were actually in the Himalayas and all the layers of your spirit were phenomenally bare. Now tapping you on your shoulder is purpose. It's been days since you told it. Sorry, now tapping you on your shoulder is purpose. He is tired of feeling isolated. You isolate him to hide away from yourself, self-isolation. Stop running. You're only running and isolating from self. Behind that mask exists a variety of reasons why you are here. So stop social distancing yourself from reality. I'm sorry if I burst your bubble, but life is too precious, so put your lock down. Listen, there's someone calling you. Her name is Joy. Now stop wondering why she's in such a good mood, and just accept her fruitful seed into your life and keep her close. She whispered to you that the only payment she wants is a smile. Trust her. It's true. They say love is blind, so don't wait until you see self-love. Instead, give it everything blindly and expectantly watch it sparkle like a couple stargazing on a romantic night. Now turn left and keep going until you reach your left hemisphere. Here you are surrounded by positive emotions, and you know what they say about you are the company you keep. If only you could keep this feeling, keep going and feeling this way. But something keeps getting in the way. You keep letting self get in the way. You can't keep your feelings at bay. You are a little emotionally drained, but the mind workout was worth the perspective, right? In a world full of so many opportunities, so many things to be grateful for, why be blue with sorrow green with envy, or red with anger, when you can be yellow with happiness, orange with excitement, or even purple with inspiration? We must rise above adversity, find the rainbow and clap. Tick tock, what's that noise? That's your biological clock. It's always going, it never stops. If we had more time to remotely connect, we could tackle some of your goals or kick back to extra time, but we don't. So, Queen Joan, we salute you for this Umoja gap. We salute you for fulfilling this Umoja gap, the Kwanzaa principle of unity, a platform that gives light, love, and facts. Every queen on this platform, drop an emoji in the chat. We are all phenomenal women, and what we give, we most definitely will get back. The end.
Thank you very much for that. Beautiful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Queens, kings on the platform, you've all been phenomenal. Thank you so much for joining us. This in itself has been an awesome journey. And we're going to be doing a part 2. Have a few different speakers, practitioners on, because we've got it in our community. There's so many wonderful, spiritual, enlightened, motivational kings and queens out there, you know, doing all sorts of things to uplift individuals within the community. So thank you all for a wonderful session. Thank you all for being here. It's been amazing. Always. Queens rock. Every Saturday, 8 o'clock sharp, we're on the platform doing something. Oh, people leave from here, I know, with reams and reams and reams of notes, because that's what it's about. It's about empowering each other, uplifting each other, and, you know, sharing that good quality information and knowledge. So, kings and queens, we're out of here. Thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you all. It's been amazing. Thank you all. Yeah, thank you all. Nelsa, you were amazing. Tiik, Maz, Naomi, Lorna, Natasha, 2 Natashas. 2 Natashas on the platform. You've been brilliant. Thank you all so much. So we are going, oh, so I can't forget, yes, Queen's Walking Group. If anybody wants to start a walking group under the Queen's umbrella, please contact me. Contact details are in the chat. Don't forget to check out the YouTube channel, Queen's 2020 Lockdown Series, to see all the past recordings. Thank you, Rudy. You've been amazing as always in the background. You haven't had to mute anybody today. So everyone's been really, really good. Really, really good. We've got a WhatsApp group going now. So if anybody would like to join the WhatsApp group, please contact me. You will not be inundated with messages. You will only get messages in regards to the walking group or any events that we're going to be putting on. We are moving towards putting on outdoor events tentatively. So yeah, please keep connected, and we'll be sharing information across our different platforms. Check out We Love Health and Wellbeing on Facebook, which is where we've done quite a few of our live streams now. So where you've missed stuff, you can pick it up there. On Instagram under We Like to Do Nice Things, which is our other business, and you'll see some of our live videos there with different vendors, practitioners. So yeah, we're getting out there in the social media where we're putting stuff out there, and that's what it's about, putting yourself out there. So yeah, we're doing all that. So I'm just going to, oh, did somebody want to say something? Is that you, Tash? Tap in, Tash. I thought you were going to say something, darling. You just sending out the love and the light, sending out the love. Oh, God bless you. So we are going to end our Facebook. Yes, so have a fantastic day, everybody. Bye. Love you all. Sending much love and light. Much love and light. Have a fantastic day.